The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Coach Us Up, Chuck. Wednesday, September 29th, 2021 years after zero, and this show begins right now. Shout out to Twine for that beat drop, and shout out to you for listening on SiriusXM and watching along at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. It's a Wednesday in the season, so there's obviously a lot of reaction to Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. We are very grateful and thankful for all of it. I can't wait to dive into the conversation that was had about the conversation that we had with Aaron Rodgers. It's obviously something that moves the needle because Aaron Rodgers, the reigning MVP, is one of the most interesting humans on earth, and he's also one of the most skilled humans on earth, so anything he says or does is going to get reacted to, so now we should react to the reactions, you see. AJ Hawk will join us in the next hour, as will Spice Adam.
Whoa. Let's go.
What? Yeah, he's within the next hour. AJ Hawk's in the next hour.
Okay.
And then obviously Chuck Pagano as well in the next hour. But Spice Adam's back on the show. Cannot wait to chat with that man. Love that man. Thoroughly entertained by that man. Love watching him and Chuck and Cream Biggums and everybody succeed and go to the top via social media and being an independent workhorse, hosting the Great British Bake Off, I believe. And he's, love that show, by the way. We'll watch late night. That's a good fall asleep to show. Great fall asleep to show. Absolutely crushed it. Can't wait to chat with him because the Chicago Bears are in the conversation because allegedly they're going to be moving to Arlington. And it's not just because this Bears team wants to move to Arlington and this ownership wants to move to Arlington. It's because on George Hallis,
yes.
On George Hallis, the man who is beloved by every Chicago Bear fan.
Everyone loves him, yeah.
So his kin now run this thing, right?
Yep.
His family down run this thing. So what they came out and said is that, hey, this is what George wanted to do. This is what George wanted on his dying days. George Hallis said, we need to get the fuck out of Chicago, off the lake, and we need to get into Arlington Park. And that is now
It was his last vision.
It was his last vision, Zito and the Bears fans were told today, which I'm sure that's 100% true.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
100%
He was
sure
on his deathbed.
that is what happened. Yeah, I mean, we weren't there. Okay, we were not on George Hallis's dying days conversation. We were not there, so we're not 100% sure. We're just telling you, allegedly, he wanted them to move to Arlington long ago. Now here we are years and years later, and they're finally making it happen. So congrats to the Bears on finally fulfilling George Hallis's final wish, $1 million.
Incredible. Thank you, George. Congratulations.
Big guy.
Bears.
Hey, what a way to word that. What a way to word that announcement. By the way, probably real. Okay?
He drew the blueprints up on his deathbed, actually.
But it is going to be better for Bears fans.
Yeah.
Right? Believe it or not. Now, the city of Chicago, I got a chance to experience it a couple weeks ago with my wife. That was my first time I ever did Chicago. I had gone up to Chicago before for a birthday party for a teammate, and we just, I just shut her down for about 24 hours straight. Saw a Cubs game at Wrigley. I saw that there was no Jumbotron, so we couldn't even see if the umpire. Now you do. That's awesome. Yep. So I was my Wrigley. Didn't even have that, and I went to a club. But I went and did Chicago with my wife and walked around and saw beautiful city. I mean, it is incredible.
Number 2 in the world, people forget.
Did you see the Willis Tower?
Oh, shut up,
dude. I did walk past the formerly known Sears Tower there.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah. Still is.
Well, I agree, but on the building it does say Willis on it right now.
I think they knocked that off. Every Chicago and every day.
Anyway, Chicago's beautiful.
Yeah.
But being able to move it to somewhere that the ownership can build around it, and there's probably going to be hotels and casinos, like things you've seen in New England and Dallas. There's going to be an entire Bears Village, I think, in Arlington Park that was nowhere near available in the beautiful city of Chicago. So this seems, what's going to be like 2033 though, or something like that, right? This is a long time away still.
Well, yeah. So basically, after seeing SoFi, how can we not want this, right?
Yes. You have to have space. If you own space, like SoFi, obviously, I think it was like $6 billion or $8 billion. $8 billion, $6 billion over budget.
Yeah, 2 was the original.
I don't know how they looked at the design of that thing and we're off $6 billion. But hey, money doesn't matter. Right?
Nope.
No, it doesn't.
Money doesn't
fake.
matter at all. Hey, now you do need money for
Other money.
to buy other money that is decentralized money. But money right now is potentially just.
Who gives?
It's monopoly money.
I mean, how? We are not the show to get into this.
No.
Nobody's thinking to themselves, you know what, we want to hear these sports stooges
You know what they should
talk
do?
about what's going on. But honestly, how is that even real? How is this even real money? It can't be. Anyways, if you see SoFi, though, that is $6 billion over budget, that Stan Kroenke, who's also being sued for multiple billions of dollars in St. Louis for the exit there. Yeah. That stadium's gorgeous. It's beautiful. Everything's in 8K. It looks like it's an entire celebration. All the suites. He talked about all the suites. Austin Eckler said it's amazing to see all the suites in there. And Matthew Stafford even talked about it, I think, on the Manningcast. He got to walk around it. It's like that's the right idea. Get suites where people have TVs where they can watch other games and have good internet, and you can just charge group prices. Like it's not just like how beautiful it looks on the outside. It's also like they're trying to save, I think, live events as well. Like how do we get people continuing to go to games with the incredible alternatives there are available for people. Now, I understand that going out and doing something is awesome, but I feel like the NFL and sports in general have had a fear for a long time on how they're going to continue to keep people coming to games if their teams aren't necessarily great. So like everybody knows that good teams and great fan bases are going to have, their place is going to be sold out. That's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
But there are some places that it very much depends on how good the team is on what the ticket is going to look like. For instance, Pittsburgh Pirates, who somehow won over. They won over 58 and a half.
Bad one bucket.
Not as bad as you all thought.
But there was nobody in the goddamn stands, right? So I think like a lot of people that are building these stadiums have to think about how do we get people to continue to want to come and hang out and make this like a thing to do, regardless of the city we're in. When or if our team becomes not that great, if we know the world. And I think like SoFi, they knew in LA that nobody knows if they're Chargers or Rams fan. I mean, I'm sure there are some people that are diehard either way, but it being an attraction is a big deal. Like in Las Vegas, them having bottle service and everything, it being an attraction is a big deal. So, and let alone the internet that you have to have nowadays in these places, just because people have to, the access to things you have to give people nowadays. I mean, we are turning into people are going to have to reshape and redo their stadium and their live experience. Some cities, there's going to be throwback cities. I'm not saying everywhere, but we're seeing that as a generational turn as well. And Arlington Park allows Chicago to build the Bears organization to not only fulfill George Halas's dream, obviously, that's real, but also build out something massive with a casino probably going to be attached to that thing, a hotel. Yeah. It's an attraction. It's like keep coming and come enjoy. It's almost like a museum. Green Bay does an incredible job with this. And I think that's the next big business thing. $120 million or something like that was made in real estate.
Investments?
No, was it real estate or investments? Whatever.
For Green Bay?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but anyways, their real estate or their area around them, investments or whatever, it was through the roof. And I think it's because every weekend, whenever there's a game in Lambeau, all the Packers fans travel there. They go to the museum. They stay in the hotels that they own. They eat at the bars and restaurants that they own on the property. And they go to the museum that costs tickets and they buy merch from there. It's just like basically a full to-do almost. And I think a lot of teams are going to try to get that. Etone Diggs, I can't wait to hear this.
Well, it makes great business sense, but it's going to be sad because the Chicago Bears are going to have an indoor stadium, but they're going to do it so they can get the Super Bowl and stuff like that, I assume.
Yeah, Windy City is a real shame.
Uh-huh.
By the way, I would like to let everybody know that I've been on the record publicly, and as has Adam Vinatieri, every single stadium should be a dome, and every single one. If we have the opportunity to make this thing 71 degrees and sunny with perfect grass, why aren't we doing it? It's billions of dollars. Yep. Let's do it. Then you hear my family members, that ain't football. Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
That ain't football. And me and Vinatieri, who come from two, I think, like football-loving families, they call us soft. Obviously, a punter, kicker, don't want any fucking what? You want to add a little adversity? You soft? You don't want any wind? Dome guy, of course. It's like, but also, how come we have, when the games matter the most, at the end of the season, we have to deal with the most shitty of football because the weather is just so terrible. Now, it is a mess. I love watching it as a fan. Snow games are awesome. All right, I absolutely enjoy the hell out of that. But nobody likes it when the wind is 40 miles an hour. Maybe a defense likes it, but other than the 11 people on the field and the sideline and everything like that, there's no fan that's like, oh, I love whenever a quarterback can't complete a pass. Like, there's nobody saying that, let alone the kickers and punters' lives being, pretty high anxiety.
Yeah, sure.
Pretty stressful,
Yeah.
pretty nerve-wracking, and also just hit or miss. But I'm not just saying it from a personal, selfish standpoint for the brand. I'm saying 75 and sunny with the greatest athletes on earth flying around at all times in the biggest moments. I think that is something that we could potentially dream of. I don't know if Pittsburgh's ever going to put a dome over Heinz Field.
Never.
And I would have thought that Chicago, because that's like a part of it. They used to have higher grass. They used to have longer grass to slow teams down. Like, that was a whole part of
I
playing
actually saw
Chicago.
early plans, and they're going to pump in wind into the dome.
Oh, good. That's
So,
what the Colts did. Yeah. That's what the Colts did. So
Crack a
you
window.
just open the window. Yeah, you take the roof off, and then you
Let the
just
wind
drop
in.
one window, so that wind can really just come in and catch itself in there. You know what I mean? And then it just flies around. It's great. It's fucking great. Oh, yeah, you get to kick in a dome, though. Yeah, when Jim Irsay decides it's a dome.
Yeah.
Other than that, guess what? It's a fucking windsock.
And he
dude.
loves opening that.
Loves it. Loves it.
Show it
Is he going to
off.
press the button himself?
Probably.
I
would
don't
assume
know.
So.
That'd be so cool.
I hope that there is like a little launch thing in his.
Oh, like a nuclear
It is
football?
sweet.
Because the funny story about that thing is the roof being able to open is they pitched because Indiana weather is absurd. So it's always windy here. So like, for people that don't live in necessarily very gusty, windy cities or whatever, it is always windy in Indiana because it's so flat here. So it's literally just always windy. So that means weather comes and goes quickly. And I'm sure this is in a lot of states. Like, hey, if you don't like the weather, just wait 15 minutes or whatever. But the decision for the roof being closed had to be made like 90 minutes before the game started or something like that. And Jim was obviously very pumped that he could do this. This was a big deal. So a couple games would go by and he would have to have the thing closed, but then that initial storm that maybe was coming through 90 minutes before would blow through and then 30 minutes before game it'd become sun. It would be a perfect day basically and had to have the thing closed. And I think Jim was like, brother, we got to, what are we doing? So they actually pitched to the NFL to be able to open the roof at halftime. So it had to be an entire rule that had to be made. Like there had to be something because it could have been competitive advantage and everything like that. But it was because of weather. First time they did it, they passed the rule. The first time they did it, they said, yeah, you can open at halftime if the weather permits or whatever. First time they do it, they open it, a fucking bolt falls from the roof, hits somebody.
Jesus.
Yeah. Obviously that had to get handled behind the scenes. But it was one of those things where I think Jim and everybody was right. Like, we should be able to open this toy that you have. I mean, it's a real shame if you can't, as a punter or kicker, because it becomes one of the windiest places in the NFL whenever that happens, because you're just catching the Indiana wind and literally just throwing it back. So you hit it twice. So instead of one wind gust, you actually get two of them because it's coming in and then that son of a bitch is going back out. So that was a situation where I felt like Jim made the right decision there, being able to get it and just one loose nut.
Take the whole thing down.
Yeah, it can't happen. And I don't think they're allowed to do it anymore. Or maybe they were able to get past it. They had to pass a bunch of inspections. But that thing starts bang, bang. When that thing opens, it's like, it's a big deal. I mean, it's the entire place going. Maybe you guys will have that. Maybe you guys will have the grass that walks itself outside.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Like in Phoenix and in Las Vegas. Las Vegas is basically, I don't want to say basically the same because the outside is designed, but the way you got into that stadium was very similar to how the Cardinals you get into the stadium, because they have that big open area where the field has to come out. Las Vegas did the same exact thing. Maybe you guys will do that. Maybe you guys will just take a bunch of shit from everybody's stadium that's already been built and make
Have
something
the greatest
awesome.
stadium ever.
I mean,
smart.
Chicago is,
Beautiful city.
it is, but you guys are going to be nowhere near there, right? It's 45 minutes away.
Yeah, with traffic an hour, yeah.
Easy on the
Close
train,
to
though.
the metro, yeah.
Oh, and is Elon Musk still building the underground?
Oh, yeah. I think
Yeah.
that goes to the airport, though, doesn't it?
Is that near the airport
in
or
the
no?
city.
That would be going to the airport. The
Arlington?
Elon's thing, the Mustang was,
Yeah, can't he just have Elon, hey, take that little dozer thing and
yeah.
drop right to
Go
there?
down a
Stadium.
little bit. That's not a bad idea, yeah.
The players should be on the field when it moves into the stadium.
That'd be
What an electric introduction.
Enter Bears.
Exit you. Yeah, man. Congrats. I don't know. Are Bears fans happy about this or no?
They just want Nagy fired. That's right now. That's all they want. I bet you the Bears did this just to cover the Nagy stuff.
Oh my God. All right, yeah. I mean, fuck. That's 12 years from now. All right, we got a lot to figure out right now. It's awesome. Nagy. There were some people going to bat for him last night on the internet. We'll talk to Spice Adams, obviously Chicago Bear legend. He was ranked, I think, the 101st best Chicago Bear of all time.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think because they had a top 100 or something like that, and I think he hosted it or whatever. That was whatever the case. Chicago Bear legend. We'll talk to him all about that.
Yep.
There's other drama to be chatting about as well right now, and it all revolves around at Boston Connor's team. And I say this as a friend. I hope you view me as.
Absolutely.
You can't be this beat up about what's going on this Sunday.
I can't.
People watching and listening, I want to let you know. At Boston Connor has been a different human this week. It is, and this is not just a
Different
gimmick.
week.
This is not just on air. You're talking about our guy, our man here. Seems so bummed right now, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Why? Why are you so bummed? This is a celebration. This is a one last time getting a chance to look back at all the great times. This is one last time, to see Tom Brady play in Foxborough. This is one last time to really take the trip around the old nostalgia lane and come all the way back home. And I understand that there's a chance that you're going to hear, "Hello from the other side. I must have called 1,000 times to tell you I'm sorry for everything that I've done. But you see, be home anymore. Hello from the outside. At least I know that I've tried to tell you I'm sorry for everything that I've done. Clearly don't matter anymore. Listen, I know you're going to hear that a lot this week because it is eerily similar to the situation happening with Tom and Bill Belichick now that this book, Better to Be Feared or something like that from Seth Wickersham, ESPN senior writer, is coming out. And there's stories coming out that Tom just wanted to have a face-to-face convo with Bill on his way out.
One last time.
And Bill just wasn't home anymore.
Well, apparently he has spoken on that, and that's not true. From Belichick, at least.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So this book is full of fugazi.
Some of it, we don't know. I mean, there was no Brady, Kraft, or Bill real quotes or interviews from this book, so it's all outside sources related to those people.
Okay, so the book is called Better to Be Feared?
Yeah,
okay.
something like that.
Better to Be Feared, something to be feared, Seth Wickersham.
Yeah.
And original quotes were coming out from this book, like I think last week maybe, that like maybe Tom is going to look bad in this. Like I thought potentially this was going to be Tom is going to look bad in this book type book. And Seth actually reached out to me to come on the show and talk about it. And I didn't answer. I didn't say anything because I didn't know him and I didn't know what the book was going to be about. And because I thought it was going to be an anti-Tom book, and I was like, well, I'm not going to become a place that's like a, anti any player place. That's not what our show is, but we will talk about the book. That's kind of how I felt about it, in this whole thing. Now there's more stories coming out that, allegedly at a conference in Denver before having to travel to Detroit, Kraft was quoted by some of his peers anonymously that he said, "I wish I could be here with like the most brilliant minds on earth learning things. Instead, I have to go to Detroit and be with the biggest fucking asshole of my life."
Yeah.
Bill Belichick. That's insane. All these sources, they're coming from places like allegedly there was a meeting in Robert Kraft's office where something was said disparaging about Bill, I think, or something like that. And literally, if you're Robert Kraft, you know who that is, right?
Yeah, have to.
Unless he's having a party of 50 in his office to talk about very serious things, and they're anonymous to the book. We're going to know and learn who these people all are, right? And if allegedly we're getting great sources and great inside information that allegedly Roger Goodell and Bill Belichick met at an airport hangar in Foxborough in Massachusetts one time to talk about rules changes and all this shit. I mean, there's a lot that's about to come out from this book. I think we're about to learn about the last 20 years. And if you're a Patriots fan, I can see why you're potentially a little torn. Because not only are you staring down, hello. No, I'm not doing it again.
Please.
It has broken your heart because
I've already watched the video fucking 50,000 times.
well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe we need to keep out of it. Maybe you just need to keep your brain out of that.
Oh,
type
yeah,
of thing.
you guys are helping me do
Well,
that,
that's
by the way. Thank
we
you.
do feel bad.
I appreciate that.
But it has to be a tough week. I mean, you're staring down, the Goat Bowl. Julian Edelman termed that on Paramount Plus for Inside the NFL. Is anybody watching that?
Selling T-shirts.
I used to love that show.
I know it was great when it was on Showtime.
And I was very excited when Julian Edelman was getting on that show. And now I don't even know where the fuck it is. Paramount Plus?
I guess.
That's a thing.
Well,
That's a thing.
I'm pretty sure Diggs is the only person in the United States who has Paramount Plus.
I love the show, though. Like, I will go watch. I like Brandon Marshall's
Yep.
on
Yeah.
there. Sims is on there, I believe. Julian Edelman's on there as well. Ray Lewis was on there, I think.
he was. I think he still pops on from time to time.
That's a good show.
Yeah.
I like that show. They swear on that show. They're
Oh, yeah.
very relaxed on that show.
Have all the mic'd up stuff from the week.
It's a good show. They have
Great
access
show.
to everything. It's a great show.
Yeah.
It's on Paramount Plus now, so we got to start watching that. Obviously, we'll figure out what the fuck a Paramount Plus is, and then we'll go ahead and dive into that. How does that happen?
I don't know.
Why do they do that? Paramount Plus is probably awesome. He termed it the Goat Bowl, though, Julian Edmond, who we were big fans of, and everybody else on that show, obviously. But he termed it the Goat Bowl, and then once you start thinking about it, it is, right? And this is going to go down as a big conversation piece forever, I think, especially with how much was made out of it last year, and especially during the exit and the turmoil, and then, the quotes of the Johnny fucking Foxborough and all this stuff. It's so interesting because this is the most successful run in the history of professional sports at the highest level in the biggest league everybody in the NFL will say the most difficult league to win in because so much has to go your way and there's so much physicality and there's so much risk in every single game and play and everything like that. But the dominance that they showed, the Patriots, was something that everybody wished that their team had. And also with all the asterisks that attended and popped up that a majority of them are bullshit. It just added to the entire thing.
Yeah.
And now as a Patriots fan, you kind of have to live with all of that crashing down in like 7 days. Is that why you are currently so bummed about it? Is that what's going on? Or why are Patriots fans, are you representing all Patriots fans, like very bummed about the weekend? Or no?
I think there's some split. I think I'm bummed because we're going to be 1-3 and our team is not going to be good. I mean, this stuff, like this book, I feel like we've been hearing stuff like this for the past 2 years. It's not really anything that new. I mean, Kraft saying Belichick's the biggest fucking asshole in my life is hysterical, I think. Bill O'Brien trying to get fired from the Texans ended up getting promoted and saying, son of a bitch, I was just trying to get out of this place.
This guy's making actual bad decisions on purpose.
Just to league
and
to get out.
And they are promoting him to every role on the team. This guy's, the Houston Texans have to be so fucking thankful that Coach Dave and Nick Caserio are there.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell was potentially going on down there? Bill O'Brien, now this is all alleged. Bill O'Brien, now the offense coordinator for the Alabama football team.
That's right.
And they are beating the fuck out of everybody, by the way.
What do you know?
If
Putting
you
up
are
points.
wondering, they are very efficient on the offense. He was allegedly, via a source for Seth Wick, he was allegedly trying to get fired out of Houston so that he could succeed Bill as the Patriots' next head coach.
Yep.
And instead of doing that, he got the GM role, he got the head salary cap role,
Yep.
he got the H&R role.
Lead contract.
I think he got lead counsel
Yeah,
role.
yeah.
He got, I do believe he was marketing
Yeah, he
exec
was. He
as
was.
well.
He's running
GM.
the Twitter.
He was GM, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's running the Twitter accounts.
Didn't get the chaplain though.
No.
Could not get the FCA role.
No way. They already had the top dog at that position.
Well, yeah, it's actually the top dog's right-hand man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
The top dog would be
JC himself.
Jesus Christ.
Of course.
But his right-hand man, Jack Easterby, you know what I mean? That's who they had at that role. And you would have thought with him there, maybe he could sense out that this guy seems to be trying to tank our team. But he's probably just all praying for him.
Yeah.
No, he's
exactly.
locked in on God.
Yeah, he's so positive. No, he couldn't be trying to do that to us. And then you read this book and like, devil works in mysterious ways. Guy was trying to take us down. What a fucking asshole. Do they call people assholes, like those super religious people? Like, not assholes, obviously they wouldn't say that, but do they say like, Oh, that's a scumbag.
I think devil.
You're being a real Judas.
Yeah, that is
Pontius
a.
Pilate.
They say that in the Catholic community and the super religious community.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of Catholics swear, and if you're Catholic and you're saying you don't swear, then that you're full of shit.
Yeah, but what about like the Jack Easterbys of the world? Like,
I would say he's a big. Oh, you Judas.
really?
Oh yeah.
Is that like the worst thing you could say?
I mean, yeah,
Just
straight
about.
Jesus.
What did
You got
Judas
him
do?
killed.
Judas-
If you drop the full name, like Judas Iscariot, that's
All right, I'm doing it on
Those are
SmackDown.
fighting words.
I gotta do it on SmackDown for sure. Somebody looked him in the eye like he was Judas Iscariot.
Judas of Iscariot.
Who?
Judas of Iscariot. Yeah.
Judas of Iscariot. This guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
This guy. Terrible.
Yeah.
Judas of Iscariot.
Kane wasn't great either. I believe he was the first murderer.
Kane?
Killed his brother.
He's the mayor of Knox County.
Big Red Machine.
Yeah, dude.
Cain of Cain and Abel.
All right, let's get to a break.
That's like Glenn Jacobs now.
Yeah, he's the mayor. Okay, he gave Bianca Belair a key to the county the other day.
Really?
Yeah, it was big fucking key, dude.
Huge.
Wow.
Get in any door
Wow.
It
That's
works
it.
in every keyhole.
in the county. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, Knoxville, I guess it runs as its own entity. And then Knoxville is in Knox County, though. It's like a D.C. type situation.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if the key works in the city we were necessarily in Knoxville, but if you go outside Knoxville city
Surrounding
limits,
parts.
she could get into any house, farm, barn,
What?
town,
What?
bank,
What?
the vault in the bank.
Whoa.
And that's where I think she should go.
Smart.
That's what they gave you the key to the county for.
Point.
That's right.
Why are you going to use it or not?
It's my money now.
I just can't believe you guys came at Paramount Plus like that.
You are the only
What is
person
it?
I know.
What's
that
on
has it.
there?
Any CBS football game, any CBS SEC game, any CBS show,
Why is it called Paramount?
and of course
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone.
That's why.
Champions League's on there.
Burn notice.
Champions League's on Paramount Plus? Wow, I didn't
Hold
know
the
that.
phone.
Is anybody other than you telling anybody?
I don't know, to be honest. Actually, your show's on there. Bull.
No, we can't do
Not
that
anymore.
anymore.
That's not my show anymore.
Bull
Come on,
stinks.
Tone.
Let's get to a break. We're back with Spice Adams on the other side, talking all things Chicago Bears life. And I assume he will say 4 to 5 things that are more hilarious than anything we've heard all day.
Oh yeah.
I fucking enjoy the hell out of this, man. He's back in 4 minutes. This is the Pat McAfee Show.
I was told by Del Curry, Scottie Pippen struggles on the golf course, right?
Right.
I was told at that thing that I'm going against Scottie Pippen the next day, match play, heads up, one-on-one Scottie Pippen. So we decide, like, okay, we could probably have a couple drinks, stay at the casino a little bit longer than we should.
Representing the NFL out of the Shoeless Golf Club of America, Pat McAfee. His opponent, representing the NBA, Scottie Pippen.
You know what I mean? This guy's got 6 rings. Yeah. He's a fucking Hall of Famer. But today he's going to play against me. And then I start seeing Scottie hit some shots that are just like starting to come together. And I'm like, wait a fucking minute. I think I was lied to.
We were lied to yesterday. We were told Scottie Pippen was a terrible golfer. Bro, he's Scottie fucking Pippen.
Going in the back 9, I think I was down 1. Like, we were battling. But I started making putts. And Scottie Pippen went ahead and got real hot. I mean, real fucking hot. I was down 3 with 7 left. And I looked right in the camera, and I go,
So we're down 3 with like 7 holes left. Scottie Pippen's about to get this work.
Scottie Pippen from 190 yards out just fucking dunks it. Fucking boom, bang, and then walks up to the green, gets the ball, camera's on him, and he goes, Pippen ain't easy. Kidding me?
All right, down 4 with 6 left after Scottie Pippen just chips in from fucking 400 yards out.
I was fucking demoralized.
Pippen ain't easy.
By the way, best he's ever performed at golf, because I'm around, better teammate than Jordan.
Yep.
People forget. Oh, yeah, I told Del, I was like, Del, what the fuck you lying to me? He was like, well, I saw it yesterday. He was not great. And Greg Anthony told me, and I was like, Del, he buried me, Del Curry. He buried me. He was like, hey, Pippen ain't easy.
Yes, baby, it's time to celebrate.
Talking about a shotgun of beer after he had beat me. Obviously, I like teach him how to do it.
Yeah, put a hole in there. It might spray a little bit, so. Yeah, so you're gonna go here, and then you're gonna open and flip up. Does that make sense? Congrats on winning the NBA a couple of times, blah, 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 blah. And being an incredible golfer. Thanks, Paul. Cheers. Appreciate it. Hey. 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 Hey.
Damn.
Okay,
That's
Scotty.
the best Bud Light I ever had.
Hey, there's no stuck hitting it through yours anyway.
You right.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Welcome back to that show. Joining us now is a man that I cannot wait to see. Ladies and gentlemen, Chicago Bears legend, Spice Adams.
Yeah!
What up, dog?
How are you doing, man? You got that new iPhone that has portrait mode on it, it looks like. You look...
Oh, yeah. Do I need to switch that?
No, you are glowing right now. Are you in the...
Hey, dog. Hey, I'm out here, cuz.
Hey, we've been following along. Obviously, you've been just continuing to kill it. You've lost how much weight, though? You are a whole new guy, it seems like, on the internet right now.
Man, I done lost about 115.
Jeez.
Wow.
Keep it going.
Hey, let's go, because, back in... Hey, your little running, man, you do back in the day? You were doing that with 115 more pounds.
Yeah.
Think about that. You're probably flying around now, I assume. How you feel like you probably get back in the league out there?
Yeah, man. I get humble really quickly, man. I be trying, man. I slide by the office a couple times. Like, hey, Coach Nagy, Ryan Pace, come on, man. I slide by there every now and again, man. But they ain't gonna sign me, man.
Nah,
they need to, though.
Hey, seems like it. Hey, can I ask you about your thoughts on the Chicago Bears situation right now? All hell is breaking loose. We have Zito, obviously, big Chicago Bears fan, been around here for a long time. He's a big fan of yours as well. He said, who cares about going to Arlington Park? All right, that's 12 years from now. Nobody cares about that. The only thing anybody's talking about right now is Nagy going to be this coach for the long haul? Is that all anybody's talking about in Chicago, Spice? And what's your... Yeah.
Hey, Pat, look at this sunroof.
Minivan sunroof, dog.
Sunroof is back in the Chrysler Pacifica. I'm still selling that.
Hey, do you have a deal with them yet?
No, man. We need to make it happen, man.
Yeah, I think you're the only guy pushing minivans
the
right
Bears, bro, I really don't want to talk about it. It ain't nothing to talk about. It's been going on for 2 years, 3 years. Like, what, man? Oh, I don't know, Pat. I don't know. I don't know what I'm seeing on the field. I don't know what I'm seeing on the field. All I know is Justin Fields outside of the pocket is nice.
Amen.
Why can't we run those same plays?
Yeah. Well, hey, as a Colts fan, I don't have a great time right now either. We had a quarterback with 2 sprained ankles playing on Sunday, and I feel like there's a lot of decisions being 2 sprains, dude. Carson Wentz had 2 sprains. 2 sprained ankles.
How does that even happen?
He's a little reckless, Spice. He's a
at
little...
At the same time?
Same.
Or they happen at the same time?
1 play, 1 man, 2 sprained ankles. Yeah, that's what. Yeah. That's,
Wow.
Well, yeah, it's insane. He's a wild man. So we got a lot to talk about in Indianapolis as well. But it does feel like Chicago is the national conversation piece right now because of Justin Fields. Now there's people coming out for Nagy saying he did try to move him, he didn't try to move him. Why aren't they doing it, Spice? Is it just ineptitude? You think? Why do people make so many mistakes in decision making in the NFL at the highest level?
I don't know, man. I know a lot of times some coaches are kind of stubborn. I don't know what Nagy is doing or whatever, but some coaches, you know how it is, man. They just want to they want to run their plays, and that's it. Doesn't matter what the personnel is. Like, I remember when I was with the 49ers and Coach Nolan came there, we were a 4-3 team. You can't take a 4-3 team and just make them a 3-4 and think you're going to have success overnight. It's going to take some years for that to happen. And I think now maybe they're being stubborn and they're like, okay, we're going to run these plays and that's it. Like, we're not going to run no screens. We're not going to run any of the stuff that you're used to. We're going to run my stuff. So maybe that's what's going on. I don't know.
I wonder why. And it seems like there's been so much success in places like, for instance, Tampa with Tom. Allegedly, Tom and Bruce Arians' offense, Tom Brady's offense, which is obviously also Josh McDaniels and the Patriots' offense. Allegedly, after the bye week is when they really came together, and then they just dominated. And they just lost to the Rams. But I think like Stafford and McVay right now kind of coming together, running things. You can see how it's a good thing when the coordinator, the head coach, and the quarterback are on the same page. I don't know why everybody doesn't do it, Spice. I don't know why everybody doesn't do it.
I don't know. Stuff that makes the most sense, people never really do. I don't get it, man. But Arlington Heights, huh? That's exciting.
Yeah, where's that at? That's like an hour out?
That's like 15 minutes away from me, man. Like, let's do it. Let's do it today.
Allegedly now, they'll be able to... Did you see SoFi Stadium? What were your thoughts on that? Because that is obviously... Chicago's going to have to build a new stadium. These stadiums, $8 billion, Spice, over there. I think they have all the 8K cameras on Earth already just in there in that place. That place is absurd. And that's what the Chicago Bears get to look at, you know?
I could loan them $300 straight cash right now, like to start it up.
Yeah, right now.
Straight cash. Well,
that's
dude,
good. You need
that
to stop.
Stadium is dumb.
Yeah.
It is dumb, man. I thought, the Dallas Cowboys Stadium was like the greatest thing ever. That SoFi is unreal.
You played 9 years in the NFL? Spice, was it 9 years?
9, yep.
Favorite place to play other than the places that were your home stadium? You get it.
I liked Dallas. I liked Kansas City. Kansas City was crazy. They do the Star Spangled Banner instead of saying home of the brave. This was my first time. So I was just like, man, there's no way that this stadium is that loud. You can't even hear your own thoughts. Like, you're thinking things and you're like, damn, what did I just say? Yeah. Dude, instead of saying home of the brave, it's like home of the
Chiefs. Yeah, whoa.
That joint is crazy. I love playing there, man. It's nice. Yeah. I like that. I just like the atmosphere, not so much like the stadium. But as far as stadiums is concerned, Dallas was the top that I ever saw.
Do you remember walking into that place and they had like go-go dancers in a cage up on the ceiling?
You're talking about the distraction. You walking right out of your locker room and you're like, damn. Like, you walk straight to a club. And you're just like, that new Boosie.
There's people holding alcohol. Like, literally as you're walking... And it's like 100 people, and it is like club music, and you're walking out to get warmed up. Like, this is before warm-ups. You're walking out, and there's like people just getting after it. It's like, oh, this place is different. Then the suite's right on the field, right behind, and how big it was. Chicago has a lot of blueprints, or Arlington now, I guess, has a lot of blueprints they can look at for what a good stadium is. It's going to be expensive, though, Spice. That $300 ain't going to be enough, pal.
Man, they got it. They got it, man. All of these owners, everybody, they rich. They got it, man. But look, I remember we were on the sideline, and D Wade just walked right out of his suite, like right onto our sideline. I was like, dang, this is crazy, man. And they do that every week.
Yeah,
it's dope.
Jerry runs Jerry runs a hell of a business down there. You know what I mean? As does the NFL. Have you looked at some of these numbers that have come out from the NFL? As former players, I believe we are more apt to maybe look at those numbers and go, oh, is that right? Especially with everything we had heard through the previous CBA. They just signed $110 billion licensing digital rights or whatever, media rights for the next $110 billion that can be negotiated at any time. The league is on the up and up right now, Spice, and it's a shame that the Bears aren't really going right now, you know?
Oh man! Anytime somebody mentions the Bears, just got done. I just set up a cleaning for my teeth, and I'm talking to the dentist, and I'm just like, they're like, hey, what do you think the Bears gonna do? I'm like, man, I just want my teeth clean, man. I want my teeth clean. I don't want to talk about this, man. Yeah. Hey, look, man. I used to think when I was playing, I was like, man, these former players, man, they always complaining about something. And now I'm the guy complaining.
Yeah, me too, by the way. How about the rules? You hate the rules changes? You hate the way the game changes, Spice?
Taunting has to go.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't know who's in charge, but I'm sure they watch the Pat McAfee show. No. Everybody watches this show.
Oh, that's very nice of you, but they don't.
Watching? Where's my camera? Right. Oh, I'm holding it.
Right here,
okay.
Yeah, right here.
Taunting needs to go.
Bingo.
Get it out.
Out.
I don't like.
We're sick of it.
Most of the times, people are celebrating, and they're not talking to anybody in particular. They just getting themselves riled up, like, yeah, let's go, baby, let's go. And they throwing the flag as if you're belittling your opponent.
Yeah.
You're not. Like, you're having a good time. You're playing a kid's game, getting paid a king's ransom. And they are upset if they want to throw the flag. And you can't even celebrate when you score a touchdown. I want people to pull out the Sharpie out of their socks and sign footballs. That is entertaining.
I want to let you know, I love the diatribe you just went on. I believe in it 100%, but you stopped looking at the camera in the middle of it. I don't know if the powers that be, because you did want to lock eyes with them. I don't know if they're going to be able to stay focused because, you started looking off. They might think you don't really believe, you know what I mean?
I got too excited, Pat.
Yeah, me too. And by the way, you can't do that in the NFL right now. Can't get too excited in the NFL, and that's what we're talking about. Absolutely.
They're going to throw a flag on that.
Yeah, they are. Can't get excited. Can't have emotions in an emotional sport. It's unbelievable. I think they're backing off of it. I'm not 100% sure, but they fined players after week 2, I think. I haven't heard much. Yeah, they got taunting penalties and fined, I think, about it.
And a fine?
Yeah, I think so. I think there was also a fine. I'm not 100% sure. This week 3, we haven't heard anything yet, but allegedly they'll change it to what they want and then they'll back off it, but it's all a bunch of bullshit, man. We have some questions from the boys for you, Spice. How do you feel about it?
Oh, let's do it.
Hey, we've missed you around here, man.
Hey, man, anytime, dude. I'm not that far away from you.
You were in England.
Right now?
You were in England at one point. Were you not over in England or something? Where were you?
Don't do that, Pat.
Yeah, he was in England.
Don't do that.
This guy's an international show host.
Come on, Pat. Don't do that, Pat.
International.
I always got time for you, Pat. Okay, look, I got a question for you.
Okay.
I follow you on the gram. I see all the animals, all the dogs you and Sam got. When is the babies coming?
Okay. All right, listen. That has been a topic of conversation for me to potentially have a spawn. My wife is obviously an absolute angel. My body, when it was smaller and younger, was a fucking asshole. So, I don't know if I'm ready. That is what we are. We are going to get into the game. And whenever this thing is a piece of shit, it is everybody's fault. Okay? I want everybody to remember that. Okay?
Stop practicing and get in the game.
Okay. Hey. Don't be at the game, be in the goddamn game. Okay, they don't make statues of anybody that's at the game. They only make statues of people that are in the game. You're right.
I just want somebody else to feel miserable with me.
Yeah, see, that's what everybody, yeah, exactly.
These kids, man. I'm in the minivan right now. I just dropped the kids off at school, and they're driving me crazy. Look at this, man. Hold on, let me see. Let me show you this, man. You see my weather check? This is all lemonade from Chick-fil-A. Look, my hand is stuck on the weather check. I can't pull it up.
See, it's everybody like you with the same exact feelings you have about parenthood are the ones telling me, hey, what do you have a kid? And I love and appreciate the fact that you want more in your tribe. You know what I mean?
It's going to pay off one day. I just don't know when the day is. But one day, I'm going to look back and I'm going to say, wow, that was fun.
And I hope to have one of those days as well at some point. But you're selling it in a beautiful fashion. Go ahead, Ty.
Spice, speaking of the officiating, how frustrating is it when you watch games and you see all these chicken shit roughing the passer penalties? Like, do you think at this point there's anything these guys can do to avoid it? Or is it something where it's just gotten to the point where it's like, hey, you're going to get dinged up for something like this when, you know, we all know it shouldn't be called?
Oh, my gosh. So, I mean, football is basically a series of small car accidents. Let's call it what it is. People are running 15 miles per hour into each other. It's a physical sport. You can't expect a guy 300 pounds that's wrestling with another 300-pound man, getting him off of him, running as fast as he can to kind of just, you know, hit the quarterback softly and lay him on a pillow. You can't expect that from a 300-pound man who drives a minivan, who has kids that he has to feed. You can't expect a man to come with all of that power and just press on the brakes like that. Yeah, cut the man some slack. They said, oh, you can't drop all of your weight down on the quarterback. Are you kidding me? What do you expect me to do? You expect me to hit him and somehow be able to put on the brake from somewhere and gently lay him down? Like, it is they need fat people on the board. People got to speak up for us.
I appreciate that. You know, I do appreciate that. It's an absurd call, and I think intent should be something that's looked at there. You know, like, I think the ref should be like, okay, he at least tried to not bury his entire weight through. You know, like, as opposed to, they're calling like, well, it looked like a little bit too much of his weight was on there. It's like, did he try not to kill the guy? Because he could have. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I think the intent.
That's why you need fat people on there, so then they can explain, like, hey, look, bruh, if we going one way, it's hard to go back another way. And then college, with the helmet stuff, there's a lot of times you're running full speed and you see a guy duck, and so you're gonna get low too. And then like they're like, oh, this guy's out of the game, and then you got to sit out a whole half of the next. They need to stop that, man. Like, sometimes people come through spearing, and then sometimes it's blatantly like you see it. You know what I mean? But sometimes you also got to act like you've played the game before.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody goes low, you're going to go low with them.
Yeah.
And you're trying to get your head out of the way so that we won't get caught. But at the same time, it's like, what do? Do I allow this guy to score a touchdown? Because if I try to tackle him, it's going to be, you know, helmet to helmet, and they're going to throw me out the game. So they need to get rid of all of that stuff, man.
I think, honestly, Spice, intent should be something that is just viewed. Like, I think intent should be there. Because if the level changes on a guy and they have to duck, naturally they have to duck. By the way, and you're saying 15 miles an hour, people are getting clocked at like 22 miles an hour now. Like, humans are at a fucking insane spot right now. You got 275-pound dudes running 4.6s and 4.7s and 4.5. Like, it is absurd how fast it's going. If the intent isn't there to get at somebody, I just don't think. You know, but then now you're, hey, these refs, Spice, now you're putting intent judgment in these refs' hands, some of which should not be in front of 5 people, let alone 70,000 people making massive fucking decisions, Spice. That's a problem in of itself.
Yeah, a ref at the Florida State game was eating Skittles. Get the call right. You sit up there eating Skittles. Get the call right.
Nobody wants to be a ref anymore, and I understand why.
Yeah.
But I think they should get tech and help them out. We're talking to Spice Adams, obviously absolute international superstar.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Global sensation.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Matt, cut it out.
Fucking
By
in
that,
shape.
I mean, keep going.
Yeah. Well, I was about to compliment your physique right now and how fit you are and how handsome and glowing you are, but you told me to stop, so I can't fucking say it. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Spice, when you were in the league, was comedy and acting and that whole thing kind of something you were looking forward to and knew that you were going to get into? Or at what point did you kind of start realizing, like, oh shit, I got something here, I'm going to run with this?
I had absolutely no plan. at all. And my production company is called No Plan Productions.
Ooh.
Because I absolutely had no plan. This was not in the cards at all. I honestly went back to school to George Washington University, and I got my executive master's of business administration.
Here we go.
And I thought that I was going to own some type of business or something like that. I was going to do some franchising and like all this other type of stuff. But then the opportunity presented itself with the Chicago Bears to do a show out here locally called Inside the Bears. I've been doing now for 9 seasons.
Right on.
And then, Ballers came along and did some episodes on Detroiters with Sam Richardson and Tim Robinson. And, but my claim to fame was being on the Pat McAfee.
Oh, yeah. Spice. We don't want to hear it.
I've traded lines with The Rock. I've met Kevin Hart and different things. But to be on the Pat McAfee.
No, you host. I don't think you host a podcast with Shaq. No, I think you host a podcast with Shaq right now. I think you actually host a podcast with Shaq right now.
Yeah, I do a podcast with Shaq every week in Michelle Turner.
Yeah, no big deal.
Whoa.
No big deal.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yet to be on the
A
lot of people can't say that. A lot of people not Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hey, listen. We are very lucky that he comes and talks to us.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we are very lucky that he comes and talks to us.
You're getting some stuff that nobody can get, bruh.
Yeah, it makes no sense. It's the dumbest life of all time.
Like, you got a way of getting things out of people, bruh.
No.
It's amazing.
No, that's because they're talking to an idiot. They know it. For instance, I have a studio that has full construction going on.
Peyton was right.
What's that?
Peyton was right.
What'd you say?
Peyton was right.
Oh, my guy. Peyton's a good guy.
Idiot kicker.
Yeah, that wasn't me. No, that was not me. Do not link me with that story. No, that's a bad one. That is not a good one to be a part. Go ahead, Tone.
Spice, I saw a story last week from Brandon Marshall. Said that he had to call Jay Cutler and loan $60K from Jay. You ever get stuck in a situation where you had to call Jay and get a bunch of money from him?
No, I can't say that I have. And if I did, I would call Jay.
Jeez.
Hey, you know what? Jay is pretty cool, man. Jay, P.O., like everybody that the media portrays as such villains are really the coolest people in the world, dude.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why Jay gets the rep that he gets or T.O. gets the rep that he gets. These are great dudes, man.
Well, not as great as you, dude. I want to let you know that for blessing us with your time from your minivan with a sunroof today, Spice. You already all follow him on Instagram. The man is a magic maker. He just released a film, 4-minute film on his Instagram of old heads going to get a smoke. Okay. It was scored as if it was a Scorsese flick. I mean, it was fucking unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Spice Adams. Thank you, Spice. Love that man. He's grinded.
Oh, yeah.
He has grinded. And man, I didn't know he had an MBA. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And he also explained fully what the MBA was while he was saying that. I was like, I don't think I've ever heard what that actually was.
Good to know.
But then I've had to piece it together. We are big Spice Adams fans. We tried to get, he was, I forget what it was. I was going to go to Chicago and do something, or I was in Chicago, maybe passing through Chicago. I forget exactly what it was. We might have had a layover in Chicago that I was going to potentially go try to do something, because in Detroit, in a layover one time, we ran into Matt Patricia's office. He gave us an entire interview, and then we ran back to the airport, and then we took off somewhere. When we were traveling for NXT or something, we were going through Chicago for something, and I wanted to do something with it. I was like, hey, Spice, is there any way you're in town, like tomorrow afternoon or whatever? Man, I'm so sorry. I'm in England right now.
Oh, jeez.
You are where? You are in. I'm in England right now. I am so sorry, man. I'm filming the Great British Baking Show.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus, Spice. I wanted to film like me and you dancing. You're hosting this international show. I do apologize, sir. He is absolutely crushing it. So happy that he stopped by. In the next hour, we got AJ Hawk and Chuck Pagano. Cannot wait for your phone calls on the 5-Hour Energy phone line. 1-833-4-McAfee. Wednesdays are a good time because we're too far removed from week 3. We're right on the precipice of week 4. Let's go ahead and enjoy today for what it is.
Hell yeah.
Today's day is, hello, it's Coach Us Up Chuck Wednesday. We'll see you in 6 minutes. Cheers. Why is football the greatest sport on earth? And do you think football is the greatest sport on earth? And why do you like football?
That's a really deep question there, Pat.
I know. I think I can get a good answer out of you, though. Like, I think you'd be able to talk about it in a way that I think a lot of people haven't, because you've been at the pinnacle of it for so damn long and inside of it, and your brain is a pretty fantastic one. We've learned here over the last few weeks, obviously. Last few weeks, that's it. That's all the time we've learned that.
I think it's the greatest sport in the world for one main reason. It is a true team sport where it is damn near impossible for one person to dominate an entire game. And if you look at other team sports, basketball with 5 guys on the court, I think you've seen multiple players over the years. Maybe one player, maybe 1 or 2 players on a squad be able to dominate and win championships. Baseball, you can have a dominant pitcher and win championships. Soccer, you can have a dominant forward and or goalie. That seems to be a little more of a team sport, but you don't have 11 players engaged at the same time on every play. It is truly a sport reliant on every player on the field to do their job in order to be successful. And I think that's why at times, certain star players can get maybe too much credit and maybe too much blame on the flip side, because it does take so many players at the same time in 3 phases to win football games. And I think that's the beauty and the draw of our sport, is that something new happens all the time, because you are literally dealing with 11 humans on the field at one time who all have lives outside of football, and there's distractions, there's a reliance on coaching, there's a reliance on preparation, there's a reliance on diet and performance. I just think there's so many facets to it that you see something new every single week, and I think that's the beauty in our game. When it comes to the love that I have for it, it's rooted, and I think like any player who's played for a long time, the love is not just about our sport, it's about competition. And I think there's nothing in the world for me that fills that need and that hole I have like competition. I think players who play for a long time at a high level, you have that need to be satiated competitively, and it's a love of going out there and going against guys and being in an environment where you know that nothing is guaranteed. And that's why at times I've taken umbrage to people saying that it's easy, because it's not easy. It's never easy. And I think that's the beauty in our game, is that you see things new every single week. It's never easy. And your only thing you're guaranteed is the ability to compete. I love that aspect of it. I love competing. I love going out there and harnessing the fear of failure, where I think so many people who maybe don't love football as much, the root of that is a deep fear of failure, that you might go out there and your best might not be good enough, and that's not okay with you.
Is the MCDC name tag then? Because it's a long time. ACDC. Do you hate it? Do you love it? I feel like we potentially offended you after finding out you're a diehard Metallica guy, and we call you MCDC.
No. Listen, I love classic rock as well. I don't strike you as a numbers guy.
No, yeah. Yeah, whenever I heard you, I was just like, you know what? I'm not 100% sure this guy is just going to be listening strictly to the analytics guy. I just kind of a feel I had.
I got through addition and subtraction. Look, the alpha comment was really, I wasn't directing that just at myself. I was saying that's Brad too. Brad's an alpha. That's our coaching staff. I mean, let me say this about our coaching staff. One of the reasons I made the hires that I did with these guys, I know you'll probably end up asking this, was because just coming out of this COVID, I wanted to make sure we had more flexibility with the roster. And if these coaches need to play maybe a couple of games, so not everybody's thinking that way.
Right, it seems like every 3-4 years the Lions get a new head coach. It seems like the rebuilding process has been happening my entire life. 26 years old, and I've never seen a playoff win for the Detroit Lions. So I want to know how you and your coaching staff plans to make this one different.
Yeah, look, first of all, I think I love Foxy, man. I tell you what, I love the optimism that he brings. Look, I would say this, to me, the short answer is Sheila Ford Ham. If if you want hope, she's the one who's bringing the hope. Because I had put serious thought into this as I was hiring my staff. I was thinking about hiring you to see if you would like to be, our special teams coach. And then I thought, you know what? I know you doing this radio, it softened you up a little bit. I chose not to. All right, I hate to say that, Pat. I needed to just let that be known.
Well, I want to let you know, true alphas know when to hang them up. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Campbell.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Coach Us Up, Chuck, Wednesday, September 29th, 2021, years after zero, and hour 2 begins right now. It was right there when the beat dropped. Everything before that wasn't hour 2. It was just kind of filler bullshit.
That's right.
Now it's hour 2, and hour 2 shows not only the beautiful faces of the toxic table at Ty Schmidt and at Boston Connor, who is, going through some stuff right now with the whole New England Patriots hosting Tom Brady for the first time since he's become a Super Bowl champion with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sunday Night Football, and the whole world's going to be watching. And now stories are coming out about Bill Belichick potentially being an asshole. So, long week for our guy at Boston Connor at the toxic table, but he will power through. At Tone Diggs, the COVID cowboy, and also host of the, incredibly successful gambling show Hammer Dahn, which airs 15 minutes after this show ends every single day at youtube.com/Hammer Dahn. That's D-A-H-N. Tone, what is it like to watch Boston Connor kind of go through this whole thing? I've noticed you have been awfully quiet. You sang with us because anytime hello comes in, you have to. Hello from the other side. I mean, you have to do that. But you weren't doing it, I think you were doing it for Adele as opposed to against Connor, which maybe some others in the office was doing. And why is that, you think?
Well, I'll definitely do it here when I'm sitting in this seat because, that's who I am. And that's who I strive to be.
Yeah, exactly.
But out there, I kind of know what he's going through. I mean, and...
No, you don't.
Well, I'm not on his side anymore.
Wow, just like that. Just like that. But that's how
you're on my side in here, not out there, Tony. You know that.
Hey, so you're already a little bit jaded because out there he was acting like he was on your side.
Not to mention, I got ransacked by Nick and him about running Brady out of town. It's week 3. They're running Big Ben out of town, but I won't comment. I won't comment on that.
There's a big difference, though. Ben's career is over, and Tom still has 5 years left to play and win a Super Bowl.
Well, so I think saying that about Ben
would be
putting him down a little bit because,
that's fine.
Realistic. Or being realistic.
Okay, yeah, reality here. Not.
Have you watched the guy?
What?
Yeah, we know.
What?
We can see. We have eyes.
What?
We would never run a Super Bowl winning quarterback out of town.
What? What are you guys saying? You guys saying Ben's done? You guys saying Ben stinks?
Say it.
Ben stinks.
You guys are saying Ben Roethlisberger stinks at football in Pittsburgh?
You know that 7 is my Lord and Savior, and I will never say that.
Well, you actually denounced 7 because of his finding of his Lord and Savior.
There have been some struggles. That's what we'll say.
And they are indicating...
People around him are letting him down.
Who are the people around him?
Just everyone.
And because of that, you think his time has come to an end here?
Potentially.
Wow.
Potentially.
What's going to happen the rest of the season? Are you guys just mailing it in? Throw your terrible towel into the ring,
I
dude?
will support him every single day of the week.
You're calling for Matt Corral and Aaron Rodgers in the past 2 days,
Well,
Tony.
if you knew anything about football, those players cannot be on the team this year. Matt Corral's in college, and you have to draft him after the season. Aaron Rodgers is under contract with the Green Bay Packers. They're not trading him this season. So he can't be on the Steelers this year. So, no, that makes no sense for this year.
Well, I mean...
You don't hear us calling for Mason Rudolph.
No, you do not.
Or do we ask? And anybody that is actually on the team, you don't hear Pittsburgh calling for.
Sure.
Anyways, with that being said, joining us now is a man who is very good friends with a guy who a lot of Pittsburgh, just after yesterday, started calling to be the next Steeler quarterback starting next year, actually. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk.
AJ! Do you
What's up,
guys
guys?
doesn't
Happy
own
Wednesday.
any other shirts?
How many did you buy?
What?
You have 2 shirts in your closet.
It's Coach him up Chuck Wednesday. I'm sure he's a fan.
nice.
I actually meant to
So
wear
this
it
is
for
your Chuck, huh? My Chuck is Coach Chuck Pagano, Chuck Strong. You know, the guy that beat leukemia and then has raised millions and millions alongside the Chuck Strong Foundation. Your Chuck is that Chuck, huh? That's why whenever you hear Coach is up Chuck, you can't help but just go grab your Chuck Berry t-shirt. Is this going to be every single week on Wednesday?
Got it, people.
No, I don't think so. I mean, today I figured, Chuck Pagano, Chuck Berry, maybe they're long-lost Italian friends. We don't know. I'm sure Chuck Pagano's a big fan of Chuck Berry.
All right. That is not why you're not a fan of Chuck Berry because of anything he did in his music.
I'm very
career.
much a fan of his
No,
music.
you are not.
Oh.
You are not.
Come on, man. We got to talk about football.
Yeah, let's get to football. All of Pittsburgh. It actually led off the morning news and also last night on the local news in Pittsburgh was that Aaron Rodgers said nice things about Pittsburgh. And he knows a lot about Pittsburgh, especially because Big Mike McCarthy, Yinzer head coach for the Dallas Cowboys now, who used to be the play caller and the head coach for the Green Bay Packers, who actually had to make calls through Aaron Rodgers' helmet with his Yinzer accent. That is awesome to think about Aaron having to learn that and being like, what the fuck are you saying? Oh, sorry about that. Hey, I'll clear it up a little bit. Sorry. Dice right. Like listening to a Yinzer through a muffled thing. That is a hilarious personal relationship, I assume, with that accent. But him saying good things about Pittsburgh had everybody in Pittsburgh saying, Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler next year. The news did it. Everything did it. Your thoughts on that reaction? And if you're Aaron Rodgers, how do you feel about that today?
I'm sure Aaron, he has no issue with it. But if you think about it, when you ask him about any NFL city, do you think he's going to trash any team?
I'll tell you what, Detroit, that place. What if he did? What if he did just come out and cut a promo on the
We'll go. Hey, next Tuesday, we'll ask him every single NFL team. We'll just somehow casually bring it up throughout the combo.
Oh, we'll become local news legends.
Oh.
They'll have that every single week. Is Aaron coming to Detroit next year?
Does the local news spell your name right?
Yeah, how about that? What do we think about it? So there's a first take this. By the way, very thankful and appreciative of the opportunity for some of our content that was created here, mostly from a guy that's friends with that guy and a conversation we are very lucky to have. I love that it has become a plus to the sports media world. Okay, we have added to the sports media world. I think anybody that's in the sports media world, especially on a daily basis, we understand that sometimes there's a lack of shit to talk about.
Yeah.
So like I'm appreciative of the fact that we are in that game now. It's very cool. Aaron is very nice with his time. We've obviously got in there with other stuff and stuff like that, but it's awesome. AJ broke news on here and then broke news, the same news on like 4 different outlets or whatever the case is. So my first take this morning, spelling my name completely wrong. That had to be on purpose, right? That had to be on purpose. There's no way that wasn't. You think, AJ?
I mean, I understand if you are putting something together. And you're like, okay, let me make.
Phonetic.
I'm not exactly sure how he spells McAfee.
The name's on the screen 2 times.
It's been on before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All you gotta do is open your eyes and look at anything.
That's right above your
see it
head.
instantly.
Yeah, it's right above your head there. And then normally it's probably right down on the bottom left.
So it's got to be on purpose, right?
Has to be, yeah. Has to be.
I don't know, though. I don't know. Sometimes things will surprise you.
They spelled my name wrong my first Thursday night football game. You remember that on the logo?
Yeah, your nameplate.
MCCAFE, maybe?
F.
Or MCAFFE. Yeah. It was awesome. Very nice. And they have to be just trolling with us, but I'm obviously going to have to address that, and that did go on the Twitter. And then we had people coming after us for misspelling words and both Yinzer language and actual words being spelled wrong on tweets. It's like, yeah, we We don't claim to be the smartest humans on earth, though.
And you're not misspelling people's names, and you're giving them credit if you play their stuff.
Well, then also, we do give credit, and obviously we appreciate them giving us credit, and they ask, and there's an entire thing to that. I mean, that is an entire thing. We got copyright strikes right now on our YouTube channel because people ran our interview on their show, and then they sent us a copyright strike. 2 of them. That's happening right now.
I mean, you can appeal that or whatever somehow,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, but one's up in flux or whatever. The one is for 2 weeks, it's been up in flux. These people asked us to use the conversation. We say, absolutely, thank you for even asking. This is very nice of you, whatever, do the thing. Yeah. And then we get a copyright strike from them on the original show that they took it from. And we asked YouTube, we're like, hey, what the fuck? Is there any way we can... We actually do not have the technology right now to be able to tell when a clip was run first and everything like that. So is this just going to continue to happen? How do we stop this thing from happening? But anyways, the behind the scenes is an entire thing. Spelling my name wrong, all good. I understand it's probably going to happen. Kind of fucked up, but, you know, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. But what I was saying is, like, we don't act like we're smart. Like, that is not, like, ESPN projects themselves as the smartest people on earth. Can't even spell my fucking name. It's on the screen.
It's not smart. That's not like showing intelligence, getting someone's name right, copying, looking at a picture and just transcribing exactly what, okay, MCAF, okay, here we go.
Well, that's a form of intelligence, right? Has to be.
It's a form of awareness, I would say.
Common sense.
Oh, so you're saying awareness would go into the street smarts bucket as opposed to the intelligence bucket.
Awareness is definitely part of like street smarts, I believe. Just figure if you have awareness, just figure it out. I tell my kids all the time, hey, don't keep peppering us with questions on how to do something. Just figure it out and then come back to me.
Big figure it out person. I think, by the way, that might be the biggest street smart thing of all time. Just figure it out, okay? And by the way, whenever we're done, we'll probably look back on it and say, you know, could have probably done this like 17 different ways that would have been more efficient and smarter, but we did it this way and we got it fucking done. So that's just how it's going to be.
That's how you learn.
But I feel like the intelligence of just looking at, I think that is an intelligence thing. I do believe that is an intelligence.
For sure. Also, places like ESPN and these like big networks, they have like 75 people to make sure this kind of stuff doesn't go to air. We just have Zeke. Like that's the only, you know. So it's kind of like
Yeah. Anyways, I love Stephen A. Smith. First Take has become the Stephen A. Show.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it's become.
How has Tebow been on his first couple weeks?
Other than the people burying him with signs right over his fucking shoulder, I mean, there's been some disparaging remarks about Tim Tebow on big white posters with black markers that are definitely legible by the camera right over his shoulder. I like it. If that's going to become like a wrestling like college game day like environment every week, I'll look forward to that even more. I think the conversations have gone well, though. Tim's a pretty good debater. You know what I mean? He's actually a pretty good debater, I think, because he's firm in his beliefs. Hey, firm.
You're right. You're right. And I'm sure he's had people pushing back and questioning his beliefs and everything that he does his whole life. So, yeah, he's used to that format. He does seem to be very comfortable on TV now.
People like you.
What, like me? What do you mean?
Questioning his
beliefs. Curious people? I'm sorry.
Hey, there ain't nothing better than when I have some time. Okay, normally I'm in a rush because I never prepare for anything, and I'm always just kind of, you know, trying to be here now, like Ram Dass said.
That's right.
You know, and I kind of started diving into that. I do try to be in the moment as much as possible.
No, you didn't. Yeah. You don't have the book.
He does.
Yeah.
He's reading it when he came into the office.
Remember, dude. You don't even know what the fuck it is, please. But normally, I think one drawback of somebody that is in the moment, maybe too much, okay, and there's probably a fine balance, and I probably abuse it, is you have a lack of necessarily being able to prepare for the future, which normally leads to me rushing to almost everything that I do. Okay, it is, but if I have some time on a street, and there's one of those Jesus saved you guys with a thing, I mean, I have time, and I do have some questions, you know, and I am curious. And every time I get good answers, and there normally starts like a little bit of a show, and then I walk away, and I think I actually helped that guy out more than he would probably give me credit at the beginning of me interrupting him. But those conversations, I bet you Tim loves those conversations. The FCA guy, Eric, for the Indianapolis Colts, the night before every game, he and I had full conversations. I do enjoy those questions because whenever you're talking about like, you know, how the world was created and what's going to happen in the future and all these stories, there's a lot of questions to be had. And if you're Tim Tebow, people are looking at you as potentially Jesus reincarnated as a football player in the SEC. Like, that is what people think. He's probably had to answer a lot of questions, a lot. And I think that does make him probably better on television. I think it actually does. He's good at it.
Don't you feel like Tim, like he'll always have like some kind of sports show. He'll be doing some kind of like analysis as a sports commentator, but I feel like he's on the path of like the Jesse Palmer, Michael Strahan, where he's going to get into those morning shows and do stuff that's not just sports.
Jesse Palmer, new host of The Bachelor. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, that's one of the first guys I've been around where I was like, oh, this is like a pretty guy. You know, like this guy's like pretty. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty impressive that this guy.
Big, tall, handsome dude.
Big,
right.
yeah. He's a pretty son of a bitch right here.
Yeah,
you know?
good luck. He's
Yeah.
going to ruin the franchise, but good luck.
What?
Oh, come on.
What, dude?
Yeah,
Why?
because he can't fucking hold Chris Harrison's jock. That's what they've been searching for ever
Oh, you're
since
talking
they
about
ousted Harrison.
Isn't Chris Harrison? He got run out of time. Didn't he?
Acho
Talk about me. Fucking.
Acho stunk. He wasn't a fan of the show.
Really?
I didn't think so.
Ty loves the show.
You do have to be a fan, I feel like. It's like wrestling. I feel like you have
You
to be a
can't
legit
do
fan
those
to
types of shows and just like pluck someone from the outside and just like.
But Jesse's been in there. He was on The Bachelor.
But it was a long time ago. I think he was still like the third string quarterback for the Giants when guess what? It didn't work. The love didn't last. He fucking threw her to the side right away.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, exactly. It's a one big fugaze.
I agree though. Acho did seem like he was self-handicapping.
Because he never watched the show before. That's what you guys are saying?
Yeah, kind of. But I mean, that's not that big of a deal because we all do it. We all self-handicap. So it's not like.
What do you mean exactly?
What do you mean?
What do you mean self-handicap?
What they mean is these guys are the biggest fucking assholes on earth.
I want to know what that means. I honestly don't know.
So Emmanuel Acho did this entire piece about somebody saying that they didn't train or do say sandbagging is potentially also self-handicapping, and then he went into this entire thing about how we all do it, how we go into a test, we say I didn't even study, you know. So you're kind of setting the standard or the expectations lower for yourself and for everybody to go into something. And I forget that's basically what it was. But you guys are only bringing this up because the boys here's brains were too small for that conversation that Emmanuel Acho was having. Isn't that right?
No, I agreed with him. I was like, oh, shit, I do self-handicap. We do all do it. It was a great point.
I mean, it's true. It's like Aaron said, the fear of failure. A lot of times people will, to protect their feelings, they'll say, oh, I didn't try as hard as I could have.
This office is a problem. All right, and you don't help.
Is it the big wet butts come up again?
No, not the big wet
wish.
butts, but self-handicapping behavior refers to the process whereby a person creates or chooses obstacles to behavior or a performance setting for the purpose of protecting self-esteem in an esteem-threatening situation. A person may choose a task so easy that success is meaningless or so difficult that success is unlikely, okay? And we were introduced to that word via Emmanuel Acho breaking down somebody. I don't remember who it was.
I couldn't tell you.
But it might have been the smartest thing I've ever heard a human say in sports media. And I was like, holy shit. And then it has become a pretty regular thing when it happens. Yeah, it gets thrown out a lot.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
what
about LeBron.
Yeah, saying that he won't be 100% last year.
Yeah.
So he was self-handicapping.
I mean,
his
Diggs
play.
has been doing this his entire life.
Yeah, Diggs is a master self-handicapper.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out.
Isn't
Every
Diggs'
day on Hammer
former
Down,
favorite
too.
quarterback used to do this a lot, right?
Former favorite quarterback.
Peterman?
Oh, Big Ben.
Tommy Maddox.
You know, going into games wearing a boot for 3 hours before the game. and stuff like that.
I don't know if severely injured is a self-handicap. He
Well,
didn't injure himself.
Yeah, severely injured was always fascinating depending upon who it is, you know. And it did feel like Ben Roethlisberger was hurt a lot of the times, and he plays his best football whenever he's hurt. But injuries are a little bit different. But I guess showing up in a boot is letting everybody know, like, hey, you know, I do have a pretty banged up ankle, even though I need this thing to walk, and they're going to shoot me up with a bunch of things so I don't feel any pain. But this is needed. And then you got guys like Carson Wentz who just show up with two sprained ankles wearing jeans and boots. And then when he should be wearing that.
Is that him? Is that really him?
That's what he should be showing up to the game like if we really want to protect this thing. Before we get the cast of tape around both the two sprained ankles, I would like him to permanently be walking around like this. He does not. He shows up in boots and jeans and just says, I'll fucking sprain both of my knees today too if I have
If
to.
he comes out next week with that spatted up, would you?
Good news though.
Put some cleats on the boots.
Smart.
The NFL is going to have to okay those, but I think they got a pretty quick turnaround on that particular fit.
Good news. Mike Chappell tweeted Wentz on sprained ankles. It's the right one. So it might be down to one sprained ankle.
Okay, so the low ankle sprain on the left is no longer a sprained ankle. It is downgraded just to a bruise probably because that thing is probably black and blue still and swollen over there. And then the high ankle sprain on the right, still very sprained.
Or does he have two on the right?
Could have two on the right.
He could have a low and a high on the right. And what if he had three sprains? What if we were misreporting this entire thing and we find out that he actually had both a high and a low ankle sprain on his right ankle and only a low ankle sprain on his left ankle? This man had three sprains So 2 chains, but I got me a few on. He literally 2 sprains, but he had him a few on. And if that is the case, that'll be absolutely absurd. And what I did learn from doing some research about us, nobody cares about Carson Wentz on the internet. We talk about Carson Wentz, they have no views on the videos.
Really?
What? I think it's some of our best work, to be honest with you, and nobody cares.
Why do you think that is? I feel like last year people cared about his whole situation going on.
I don't know. Is it because it's Indiana, Indianapolis, and everybody's
0-3 probably. When someone's 0-3, I think everyone already writes them off.
Yeah, and I think people have because a stat got sent in, and Zito, you can pull this up, although I don't necessarily love it. Ty sent a tweet in. I did exclamation point it right before we went live. Carson's like 3-11-1 or something in his last 15 games or something like that. And the interceptions and touchdowns do not bode well. Yeah, Carson Wentz since the start of last season via at NFL on CBS, which you can find on Paramount Plus.
That's right.
We just learned today. His record 3-11-1, touchdowns 19 of them, turnovers 21.
Jesus.
Fumbles obviously included in that. Sacks taken 58, most in the NFL. That's his last 15 games. And I'll tell you what, we're paying him $21 million this year. $28 million next year. He's got 2 sprained ankles already when everybody questioned whether or not he could play an entire season, and he's still out there chugging along. Old Carson ain't going to quit. Old Carson only knows one way. They are going to have to kill him before he comes off that field this year, and that might be to the detriment of the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah. And we got into a full conversation before the air. How does Jacob Eason feel about this entire thing? How's Brett Hundley feel about this entire thing? They're rolling a guy out there who potentially has 4 sprained ankles, who can't run with two casts on before them, and that's because when Carson's healthy, he's good, but it doesn't feel like he's ever going to be healthy over there, AJ.
Like it's his detriment, like his style of play, because he is so reckless, and it's a great thing. It's a compliment, like of how physical he is. He's not scared ever, it seems like, and you would just like him to back it down a little bit so you can stay on the field, because there's big dudes out there hitting you a lot.
Not just me. I think there's a lot of people who feel that way, and I think Philadelphia probably felt this way. I assume Philadelphia felt this way. Anytime you talk to an Eagles fan about Carson, they're always like, yeah, just wait. It was almost like a just wait situation in the offseason. Really? Just wait. And then that first game, now granted, we lost to the Seattle Seahawks, and they have not won since then, actually. So that is a little bit of a shame, so I'm not 100% sure. But there was an atmosphere in Lucas Oil Stadium. It was buzzing. And I just, whenever he was playing, it was very obvious that he did not understand that he could potentially get injured. You know, like it didn't even register, I don't think. And to your point, what you just said, we've said all along, like, that is a compliment that is how his brain is. Like, hey, just like Andrew Luck, I feel, he'd never told me this, but it just felt like from watching him as a teammate, front row seat for a lot of his early career there, it felt like Andrew thought he was disrespecting football if he didn't go all out on every single play. Like, this is not how football is played. Like, what do we do? What are we even doing? I've been playing this since I was a kid. This is how football is played or whatever. And then once you get in the NFL, it's a business where it's like, yeah, that is how the game was played maybe. But now that you're like, you know, $100 million and there's lives that depend upon you that are right here. It's our lives too that depend on your coaches and everything. We need you to be around a little bit. He had that view the entire time, I think. So I think it was very difficult for him to change and I don't think he didn't want to change. I think he understood that him healthy is better for anything, but I don't think he could because of how football. I think the same thing for Carson. Like, I think Carson is just like every play is a do or die. We're going to win the game on this play right here. We need 18 yards. I'm going to try to get 19 on this fucking play right here. I am not even thinking about just taking a loss, throwing it away, maybe doing a check down. Nah. This is supposed to be a home run play because it's a play in football, is how Carson basically views it. And it's absurd. I don't know how he's going to survive. I don't know what's going to happen with the guy.
I mean, I respect it. No matter how he plays on the field, whatever happens, like, I still respect a guy that's not scared to play through a lot of pain, not just a little pain. Like, he's not scared. He wants to be on the field. Andrew Luck the same way. I always will respect those guys that aren't going to be like, it doesn't feel right. Guess I'm not going to go today, guys. And, like, pats their hand. Like, I can't handle that.
Well, and that's what you were referring to with the boot and everything that potentially happens. And did you see I appreciate you, Connor, throwing me this. Left side! Strong side! Left side! Strong side!
Rest in peace, Gary.
Rest in peace, Gary Bertier. Anyways, there was a video of Sony Michel, I believe now the running back for the Los Angeles Rams. And Matthew Stafford was in shotgun. And for whatever reason, they all blocked down to the left. The offensive line blocked down to the left. And there was just a corner clean in Matthew Stafford's face. And Sony Michel was set to the left to block to where the offensive line was. So this corner literally had a straight shot at Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford stood there, could have never seen Sony Michel, who dove over, had an incredible cut block that flipped him. He was ready to throw that thing and just get obliterated right in the middle of the chest. Like, just, he was standing in there just wide open, and Sony Michel came over late and flipped him, and he was still in front of his face. But just like the thought of Matthew Stafford standing there, not even thinking about moving or anything like that, just like, nah, fuck it. If I die, I die. Yeah. That, like, there's a couple guys in the league that are like that. You know, like, there were guys, Matthew Stafford like had a broken neck or like something with his neck and his back and everything like that. He's still out there playing. So I respect the toughness of all of these people, but as a fan of the Colts, it's like, yo, just don't sprain your ankle 3 times. Your ankles 3 times in one play. Like, let's just try to live and see another day, because I think we're going to potentially, I mean, we're 0-3. We got Jacoby Brissett with the Dolphins this weekend. Ooh. Then we got the Ravens, I think, the next week.
Oh, no.
And then the Texans after that.
Okay, here we go.
Okay?
Oh. Tyrod back, though.
But is Tyrod Taylor's hamstring cured by then?
Probably. Yeah, probably.
So I'm just saying we got to win some games, you know. And
you better win right now. Yeah, that doesn't sound good when you're 0-3 staring that down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because everybody in the building knows too. Like, hey, we got to get a win here. Got to get a win here, because even when you're looking at the schedule, it's like that's going to be a tough one. I think that's Monday night in Baltimore. I think that Ravens Colts game is a Monday night in Baltimore. Like, okay, that's going to be a big time game. Obviously, there's still a lot of games left. There's 14 games left. But man, if you don't start correcting some things, that early snowball effect can really fucking get you. There's a lot of other teams that have that. Have you had any thoughts before we get to this break? We have to, because we got Chuck coming. Have you thought about Sunday Night Football, Tom Brady and Belichick at all? And have you heard any of these quotes from this book that's coming out from Seth Wickersham saying it's better to be feared or whatever? Have you heard about any of this? It's insane what's going down on Sunday night.
I've only heard a real little bit about the book coming out in the quotes. I'm sure they've been leaking out. But, yeah, I've been watching and paying attention to all of this. Ted Johnson, who used to play for the Patriots, I heard him talk about how they were both super competitive and they both really care about, like, he said, like, you think Belichick doesn't care. He absolutely cares about this and wants to win more than anything. But he said, but I think Tom's going to go in there and definitely mop him up.
Yeah, and not just Tom, by the way. There's Gronk, too, Antonio Brown. And, you know, Richard Sherman just got signed to the Bucs. Congrats to him. Whatever he was battling. Seems like he's on the other side of it. Okay, that's good news. He's back in the game. But there's a lot of vets that have a lot of scars that have come from losses in Foxborough, you know? There's a lot of vets on that team, in the coaching staff and on the team, that are like, you know, this is normally a miserable trip, but let's go to fucking war for our guy here, because this is going to be a conversation piece for the next 20, 30 years everywhere. And let's go ahead and go to work. I can't wait to see it, but it is anxiety-riddled for the New England Patriots fans, I believe, and Boston Connor is currently living and dying with it. We appreciate you, pal. Know that. We're back in 4 minutes with Coaches Up, Chuck Pagano. Can't wait for this, you know, this segment where we learn every single week. We'll see you in 4. More than you, I'm better than you?
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm a better person than you are.
No. I fed the birds this morning, so I'm a better person than you are.
Yeah, but you don't care about, the ozone as much as I do. So do you even like to breathe? That means you don't even like the birds. You don't want the birds to be able to breathe or fly because you want the ozone to be ruined because you're a fucking asshole.
Is that right? Then how come I rollerblade to the supermarket every Saturday and Sunday?
Oh, did that make you feel good? Rollerblading, flattening the earth a little bit closer to the center so it can get hotter, so then the heat comes from the ozone because you're pressing down the earth with your little rollerblades?
Well, yeah, but
I'm a better person than you are.
No, because on Wednesdays I'm planting trees and I'm trying to bring the earth back to what it was.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you're cutting up other trees' roots, though. What a fucking asshole. You Why can't you just let earth be the way it's be? You got to take your shovel and dig into it? Wow. I'm a better person than you are.
I know. I make my own manure. I make my own soil. I'm not chopping up any other roots.
So you don't like cows. You don't like cows pooping.
I hate farmers.
Unbelievable. You hate farmers. Oh, you don't like a head of cows. You don't like burgers?
Then how come I'm in the Farmers Association of America and I'm going to help?
Oh, you're a lifetime member of the FFA. Hey,
that's right.
That's what I make. I'm a better person than you are.
No, you're not. I'm a better person than you are.
That's politics, baby. That's what we just did right there. Let's get to the phones. Once again, I think we batted 1,000.
Boom.
In politics with what we just did right there.
How about that?
I do believe after that argument, though, people would say I was a better person than fucking you are, dude.
No, because everyone I just read on Twitter was like, oh my God, this guy rollerblades. I need to start doing that too.
No, that's because you mute all the other people that are actually on my side. They're telling you you're not the right person.
No, I refuse to mute anybody because I love everybody.
Oh, you're like freedom of speech. How come then you're not going to listen to everybody?
I do love freedom of speech. That's why I'm not muting anybody.
I'm better than you are.
I'm better than you are.
Everybody's saying it.
No?
Yeah, everybody's saying I'm a better person than you are.
I heard it.
We just did, by the way, still batting 1,000 on politics. I feel so good about it. We even got into the reaction to the punditry.
Yes.
We're batting a fucking 1,000 out there.
Every side.
The people say we're not well-rounded. We don't have depth. Did you hear what we just fucking did?
Come on.
Wow. Let's go to the phones, man. He walks all the way up. Oh! Sleep! Sleep! This is not the one that I saw.
Oh, good.
Oh, my God. Can we go back to the beginning, please? Listen, go back to the beginning. This guy, pause. That guy was sitting one section over in this blue polo shirt-wearing son of a bitch who's here with his friend, by the way. Right here. They're just having a good old day at the ballpark. Old buddy in the glasses back here. Oh, this has been fun. Look at this guy up here with the wife is maybe, the wife and the guy up there. They're kind of intrigued to see what's going on. Padres guy said, hey, listen, I've been locked in my fucking house for 13 months. I'm going to come to a ball game, and you're going to say dumb shit? I don't think so, pal. He walks over, 45 yards, casually, eyes ready to go, not fists ready to go, though. Just outside, no, calm. What, you got a fucking problem, pal? People smiling down here. They know something's about to happen. We got a camera out. We would like to see the alternate angle from this particular person. But what a moment here. We beat COVID. We are back. Old buddy here needs to watch out for right hooks. Bow! Buckled. What, bitch? He said. What? And then he gets tackled by everybody else, backpedals. Everybody watches this happen. What a Jeez. What? He says. What, dude? What? What? Damn. Oh, my. What was said by who? Hey, as we get back into society, let's remember, people will punch you in the fucking mouth.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Okay. All right, a little rock.
Hell yeah.
Welcome back to McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk with rock music.
Yeah.
It is Coach Us Up Chuck. Wednesday, September 29, 2021. Joining us now from his humble abode, I believe, in Idaho. A man who coached football for 35 years, was my head coach at the Indianapolis Colts. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Chuck Pagano. Yeah, let's go. How you doing?
Boise, let's go. I'm doing great. How are you guys?
We're fantastic. Can't thank you enough for joining us. I look forward to this conversation every week. Let's get into it. You had the opportunity to coach the team that had to play against Peyton Manning when he was coming back to Indianapolis to play against the Colts. There was a statue already being constructed of this man outside of the building. There was fans wearing Denver Bronco Manning's jerseys who were Colts fans allegedly, and you had to coach a team with Andrew Luck. I got a chance to be there. Now with Tom going back to New England, obviously it's a different situation with two GOATs, but that is still a monumental moment. Where is there pressures in that game? Do you know it's a different game? Like Bill and Tom, everybody, and Bruce and everybody, they know this is different, right? And you have to, even though publicly people will say differently?
No, absolutely. Are you kidding me? 20 years in New England, Peyton 14 in Indy. They're going to say all the players speak, all the coach talk. Blinders are on. I'm in the moment. I've got plenty of time to reminisce, but this is about this game. This is the biggest game because this is the next game, which is all BS. They're trying to convince themselves as much as they are Joe Public and Joe Fan. But, Peyton coming back there in 2013, undefeated Broncos team. I mean, everybody said he's done. Well, there's one person, Peyton, that said, no, I'm not done. And I've got something to prove. And I'm going back to Lucas Oil Stadium, going back to the city where I spent 14 years, where I brought a Lombardi trophy. And yeah, there's pressure. There's going to be they're saying there's no emotion. I'm going to block all that shit out. But when we put that tribute up, to Peyton, during warm-ups, it's a 3-4 minute tribute, and you're going to try to be stoic, and this, that, and the other. You can't help but, hey, you're going to pat your heart, blow kisses, fans and all that. And that's a big deal. That's a distraction. That it's hard not to go back and say, okay, yeah, I just spent 14 years here, leading this organization, more wins than anybody else, through a 7-year span. And then we, screw with him even more, 90 minutes before kickoff, he walks in there, the window's closed, the roof's shut, right? And next thing you know is, and the roof starts opening up and the window opens up. And he's throwing those passes. He's got that big long neck and that helmet, that size 10 helmet on.
Yeah.
He's throwing those. And we're getting in his head. And he said, holy shit. And he probably thought, yeah, maybe Mr. Irsay will open it. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll do me a favor. Nope, no favors. Because, he's got one thing on his mind. Tom's got one thing on his mind. Tom won a Super Bowl last year, right? Going to another team, first year, this, that, and the other. Was it Belichick, who got Brady in the Hall of Fame? Is it Brady who's going to get Belichick eventually in the Hall of Fame? The GOAT versus the GOAT? This is bigger to Tom than the Super Bowl. He wants to go in there and kick that man's ass just as much as Belichick wants to beat the shit out of Brady and the Buccaneers. But as we know, it's a team deal and all that stuff. And when the ball's kicked off, it'll get
you, Coach. But you mentioned Belichick, and I've heard we know it looks like, hey, none of this outside stuff ever affects him. He doesn't care about any of it. I mean, he is a human. How much do you think he's thought about this game, and is it going to change anything? And do you think he can do anything defensively to try to mess with Tom?
Well, if anybody can, Bill can. Obviously, Tom knows Bill inside and out, and vice versa. I heard somebody on, TV this morning call him an android. Bill's a great football coach, probably going to go down as the greatest of all time. The guy is a human being, and I think he does maybe do a little fishing, here and there, or maybe go on a date, with his girlfriend, but because all you see is the flat line, all business. You walk in the building, you got 2 signs up: do your job, ignore the noise. And if you can't do either of those 2 things, you're out. So yeah, Bill's he's gonna devise a game plan to try to mess, with Tom, but Tom's seen it all.
Hey,
he's gonna go to the line of scrimmage.
Hey, Chuck, what is something that you think he would be able to know because he's at practice with Tom for 14 years? Is it a pressure that he'll potentially bring? Is it a coverage that they'll disguise? What is something you think that Bill, as this defensive coach, and you being a defensive coach, what is something you can learn from watching somebody in practice in every single step of their life? You can just pick apart everything basically that you don't like and put it in. Is that something you can do?
Yeah, most certainly. I mean, he knows what his Achilles heel is better than anybody else. And so he'll go back through all of his stuff and a lot of the practice stuff and the people that affected him. And he's going to have, 2 or 3 things that he knows that can mess with Tom, and whether that's, a pressure, a different personnel package, moving guys around, get that amoeba defense going on 3rd down, get everybody walking around, whatever that is. Bill knows, what Tom's kryptonite is. He's going to know exactly, what buttons to try to push, what coverages to play, what fronts to play. But the problem is, you got a Bucs team. It's not just the quarterback, Yeah. And you got a Bucs team that's loaded with so many talents. You got to decide, okay, he knows Gronk too, but I don't give a damn how well you know Gronk. Who the frick's going to cover him? Who's going to stop him?
Yeah.
And then Godwin and Evans and Brown and the runners. I mean, their best deal against Tommy is to keep him on the bench.
Yeah.
To me, is they better get the ball out of Mac's hands, short, quick pass game, hand the ball off, chew up the clock, win the time of possession, don't turn the damn ball over, and keep him on the sideline and on the bench where he gets most frustrated.
Yeah, and he was able. They happened last week, but they got Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, and I mean that defense is loaded. But so are the Patriots. Patriots defense is always going to be good. It's always going to be. I mean, there's a Patriots fan in the building. You know Connor, Chuck. He is going through it right now. I mean, he is in a bad spot, Chuck. It's a tough go. But can we stay on the topic of that game, because you know the coaches at Tampa a lot, very well. As do I. I know a lot of the guys. You know even more, obviously, including like Todd Bowles, who just got Richard Sherman in the secondary today, which is congrats to him. But I think they all know that this is a big fucking game too, right? For Tom, isn't that something that I think they might rally around? Because there's a lot of scars in that coaching staff up in Foxborough. There's a lot of those scars that they've had up there in Foxborough. Have you heard or got a sense of how they feel toward this? And are they using it as hey, this game is going to be a big deal for Tom at all? Or are they trying to not talk about that, you think?
They're not talking about it.
Yeah.
It's in there. It's in back of everybody's mind. It's the big elephant in the room, right? It's sitting there. We all know what it is, and nobody's talking about it. You just got to, again, what's our process? We got to have a great Wednesday today. First and second down, we got to have a great Thursday. Third down, 2 minute. Friday's red zone, short yards, goal line. And we've got to do our preparation. We've got to put the time in. We've got to put the work in. We just won a Super Bowl. We got a great team. We got 22 stars back, an unbelievable coaching staff. We just picked up Richard Sherman. Let's focus on the things we need to focus on, and that's our preparation.
Yeah.
And not all this hoopla, surrounding Tom going back to Foxborough.
It's crazy that is literally, I've heard you give that speech a couple times, because when noise gets loud outside, the job of the coaching staff inside is to be like, hey, when we're here, this is business. All this shit outside, we got to do this because we want to be the ones in the end that are successful. It's crazy to listen to you give that speech right there. I just had a load of nostalgia. That was beautiful. Go ahead, AJ.
Chuck, I'm curious, when you're coaching teams, is it sometimes more difficult, but obviously a better situation if you're coaching a team that's winning consistently week in and week out, to where you're trying to keep them focused and always worried? Pat and I talk about it all the time. When you're winning a lot, coaches usually that I've been around have been real puckered up and really nervous for the letdown. They're always worried that you're going to let this down. We're not going to do this anymore. And teams that I've played on that maybe haven't won as much, sometimes it's a little more like loosey-goosey. Not terrible teams, but just middle of the road. Is it different coaching a team that is known to be a great team and have a good franchise compared to something else?
Yeah, that's a great question, AJ, and it's a dynamic and a balance that you got to, handle with your team based on the ebbs and flows of the season, winning team, losing team, and just trying to keep motivating those guys to avoid, the letdown. You've won 2, you've won 3, especially if you're going to play an 0-3 team or an 0-4 team or somebody that's 1-2. Now all the pressure, you couldn't get a needle out of your ass with a tractor and chain. You're so tight because the expectations is we've got the better everything, and we're supposed to go win this game. Well, that other team in that other locker room in that other city doesn't believe that, and they're dying to get a W and get a win. And so that coach, that's talking to that team that doesn't quite, know how to win yet, has lost a couple heartbreakers. They're really, really close. He's inspiring his team, and he's telling them, hey, look, guys, we've got frickin' good players here. We've got a quarterback. We've got a defensive line. We've got an offensive line. We've got playmakers, and we're that close. And he's showing them the video evidence, and he's showing them the film and saying, hey, look, if we just do this, this, and this, and clean up these few things, all right, we're going to get over the hump. We're going to win this game. All right, we're going to keep getting up, like Dan said. We're going to keep fighting and biting and doing whatever we have to do. And as long as you don't give in to that, and you keep preparing and you keep fighting, I used to say this all the time: faith is believing in what you can't see, and the reward for believing is that you'll get to see it. So that coach is inspiring his team to just keep believing, keep trusting the process, keep grinding, keep fighting, and that shit'll turn. I used to tell Pat, I'll tell you this. I said, used to tell him all the time: life is frickin' hard. As soon as you figure that shit out, it starts
It's a
getting
lot easier. Yep, there it is. Yeah, it is. It's a great quote, and it's a real thing. And I was going to ask you about the Lions, but I think you just walked us through it. MCDC is a 66-yard field goal away, a 4th and 19 conversion, and a lack of a delay of game call, and some other plays that probably happened during the game away from beating the fucking Ravens. The Ravens are a great football team, and now the Lions are 0-3 or whatever, and I assume that's the messaging, and I'm happy you actually covered that. The boys have some questions for you, Coach. Go ahead, Ty.
Coach, you were on Matt Nagy's staff in Chicago, and this week, the national media, a lot of people have basically called for him to be fired this week. Do you think, is there anything he can do at this point outside of making the playoffs to keep his job? And as a coach, like, we always hear that you keep that stuff out, but when going into the season, people were talking about him being on the hot seat, and now it's, week 4, and they're already calling for his job. Like, how difficult is that to keep that stuff at bay while you're still trying to prepare to win games?
Been there and done that. Went into a season on the last year of a contract. So Matt's betting on himself. I bet on myself. And I bet on the players. That we could come together and we could get this thing turned around. Now Coach Nagy's taken obviously a ton of criticism right now. For their start of the season, what just happened, in Cleveland, what just happened with Justin Fields, and we know what we signed up for. I say it all the time. And when you have the title of the head coach, you've got to shoulder all that, and it's all going to come down on you. But by no means does he need to shoulder and take the blame for all that stuff, because we're all getting paid really good money, as professionals, as coaching, as coaches, as players, So maybe he was right about Justin Fields. If we really dove into that tape and dissected that tape and said, okay, look, did he miss a read here or two? Did one of his quick, a 3-step throw, he's throwing a slant or a hitch and it landed in the 3rd row of the dog pound. That's not on the head coach. The offensive line, they're struggling this, that, and the other. Okay, they're going to go back. They're going to evaluate the tape, but everybody's got to take accountability. Everybody, we always used to say, I used to always go in and say, that's me. I didn't prepare the football team. That is solely on me. But when we got behind closed doors, Pat, this, we would just say it like it is and say, look, I've got to be better. Yeah, I screwed this up. My plan sucked, this, that, and the other, but I will be better. I vow to be better. And players, we have to play better. We can coach better, and we can do a lot of things better. But one guy shouldn't brunt, the full,
bear the entire
bear the whole deal. Thanks, Pat.
Yeah, you got
Wyoming education coming out again.
West Virginia guy.
I hate to same deal, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Coach, he's a fighter. He bet on himself. I know those guys in that building. I know the players in that building. They're going to rally. They got a home game this week against the Lions. And so, that's a tough deal. But, there's only one thing you can do. You can't tuck your tail. And I know Coach Nagy's not going to tuck his tail. He's going to sit there and he's going to keep swinging.
Yeah, and they got another game coming, And in the NFL, Robert Mathis said there's no pity parties in the NFL. He's like, hey, there is another game coming on the other side of this thing, so we need to get over this as quickly as possible. And Aaron Rodgers doing that sometimes on Tuesdays, people get so mad about, but you'll get your ass exposed again, and it'll only grow louder and louder. Did Nagy ever ask you, about some head coaching stuff when you were there? Going from head coach to coordinator up there, was that difficult for you? And did Nagy ever say, like, hey, did you have to deal with insert name of some random bullshit that you could have never guessed you would have to deal with now that you're a head coach? Did he ever ask you those types of questions, or did he kind of have his own thing going?
No, yeah, it's always great. It's like when, I became a head coach, it was my first time, college and the NFL. I've been a coordinator, but I used to love to have a guy like BA, obviously, guy that's been coaching for a million years and has all that knowledge, all that wisdom, been through all these situations, all the circumstances, a guy that you can go in, sit down, shut the door. Because when you take a head coaching job, that's a lonely job, and you're just kind of on an island most of the time. And so you hope you have some guys in the building, Pat, that you can go in, okay, shut the door and say, okay, the situations, the circumstances you just talked about, you can sit down and talk to that guy about. And when this happened, what do you think in this situation? whether it's dealing with a player, dealing with the media, the quarterback situation, obviously there, all those types of things. And to have, Joe Philbin was on my staff there at the end, in Indy. I loved him. And Joe's the best. Love Joey. Yeah. Doing a great job, O-line coach now for Mike McCarthy over in Dallas. But Joe, I used to go in all the time and talk to Joe, just like I did BA, and say, hey, look, when this happened, how did you handle this situation? So, that's invaluable for a head coach.
Chuck, how did you handle your bye weeks when you were the head coach? Did you ever change? Like, did you have a certain routine or rhythm that you would have for your players, and also yourself? Were you able to get away from it at all?
Yeah, win, lose, or draw. You got 2 days. You got to give the players 4 days off. Mandatory Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But yeah, we always used it kind of as a mini bye, if you will. Come in, clean up what you need to clean up, from the previous game. Hopefully you're off to a decent start, and you've got a winning record. So you can go out on, with some momentum. You've just won the last game. But yeah, I always wanted to, tell the coaches, get the hell out of here. Go be with your family, reset, recharge. That bye maybe would be at, week 7, week 8, week 9, right in the middle of the season. It's a great opportunity for not only the head coach, myself or the assistants to get away and go spend some quality time with your family.
Yeah.
Hit the reset button, hit the recharge button, just get the fuck away from it for a minute.
Hey, we had an early bye week, saved your life, right?
Yeah, that was a little bit different. Yeah,
that was.
Thank God, yeah. So that year we just we practiced on Tuesday. I got some blood work on Tuesday night. On Wednesday we took a team photo, if you remember. Right, we had to Photoshop the owner in. Anyway, oh no, it was daughter maybe. So we practiced on Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
And then everybody took off, and I went down to IU Simon Cancer Center and started getting chemo and shit pumped in my body.
I never forget that first day we came back. The Ursays were in the team meeting room or whatever, and we had heard a little bit of a rumbling, and then these 3 doctors walk into the room with Ursay, and they tell us the whole story, and everybody's like, holy shit, like, we were literally just with this guy. You're like, immediately he got in there and the whole thing. And then you inspired a movement with Chuck Strong that has raised millions and millions and millions of dollars. So you're the fucking best, dude. We can't thank you enough. Last question coming from the Patriot fan, Boston Connor.
Yeah, the only thing that'll help me right now, Chuck, is talking about the 0-3 Colts. If you have a quarterback like Carson Wentz and he possibly has 3 sprained ankles, how do you tell a guy like, hey, you can't play this week? And how do you go about even trying to tell him you got to change the way you play?
No, those are the tough, critical conversations, as a head football coach that you got to have. Decisions and conversations, with, Carson, we all saw what happened. And he's a tough guy. It's well documented how he plays this game. Pat, I think you called him a maniac.
Yeah,
out on the football field. But you can't, as the quarterback, you can't play the game like A.J. Hawk played linebacker. You just can't do it. I learned a hard lesson with Andrew early on, because there's a fine line there, because those playmakers, those talented football players like Andrew, like Carson, you're saying, hey, get down, know when to say when, throw the damn ball away. And then every now and then he's got a dude Dunlap draped all over his back at home against Cincinnati in the playoffs, and he throws a touchdown pass to Moncrief, right? And it's like, no. Oh, yay, Andrew, nice job.
Yeah, we celebrate.
All that stuff. You celebrate. So you watch his body work. You see if he practiced Wednesday. I don't think he practiced Wednesday. Maybe he moved around a little bit Thursday. Friday, he's looking a little bit better. Saturday's a walkthrough, so you don't know. You get to Sunday, and the kid says, I can go. But then that's where the head coach deal comes in and says, well, okay, at 70%, 80%, he's still our best option. But you might have to just say, hey, no, we're not going to risk further injury, prolong this thing another 2, 3, 4 weeks, and we got to sit you down. This is the best thing. Again, every decision we made, Pat, this in Indy, was what was best for the team and what gave us the best chance to win. So every now and then, Connor, you're going to have to go to a kid as much as he wants to play and dying to play, and everybody wants him to play, and say, hey, no, you physically can't get this thing done, and I don't want to subject you to further injury.
That's a tough convo, I assume, with some people, and it's a big boy conversation that has to happen, just like we get to have every single Wednesday with this legend of a man. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Us Up, Chuck. Wednesday has come to an end. Sadly, I enjoy talking to you every single time. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Chuck Pagano. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
No, thank you, man. You're killing it. That was awesome.
He's the man. He's awesome.
Yeah. He is. He got into a couple of speeches in there, too, When we ask him, like, hey, what's his coach saying? And then you see him actually get into that. All right, what team am I talking to? Man? All right, we just lost a 66-yard game winner. Okay, this is what I'm fucking saying. Boys, he did, man. Every single time he walked in front of the room, you left it like, all right, okay, we're still all right. We're still okay. It was fascinating, man.
Didn't it sound like a lot more fun to play on a team that was real close to becoming good? You talk about your coach giving these inspiring, hey, we're still there, showing positive clips of you instead of, hey, all we're gonna do is show you your terrible clip.
Hey, by the way, you fucked up here. You fucked up here. You guys think you're fucking good? You can't even, legitimately, at the end of the day, you can't dance with me. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. They get some of those coaches on those good teams get so mad and so mean after a loss. It's like, I think we're okay. 6 minutes, we're back.
Let's test out this. Sharon! Proper footy. Seems like it has a bigger sweet spot. That's the greatest sport on earth right there. Aussie rules football, also known as footy, AFL. My first time bombing in official shorts that are a little bit restricting. I think I lost a ball, to be honest. Might be a Lance Armstrong situation down here, but I can see why this sport is beloved, because those balls fly. Need to get down to Australia, meet up with the Magpie boys, and finish out this AFL season as maybe its biggest fan in America. Let's have a day.
Should we just make it real? Should we just say, hey, we're done, we're riding off into the sunset? I mean, do you want it to be live on your show that Vinny's officially done? Is that what you want?
I don't want that, but if it's going to happen, happy it's happening.
Yeah.
I would like that to be known. So don't feel obligated. Don't feel forced.
Put it this way. Hey, let me see. Today is Wednesday. By Friday, if paperwork goes in, you heard it here first.
First of all, congratulations on a legendary fucking career, dude. In a game that revolves around the score, okay? That's how they pick winners and losers, is in a game in which they keep score. To be the all-time leading scorer in scoring sport, I think many would say, hell of a fucking job. Yeah. Unbelievable. South Dakota kid, you didn't have an easy way either. You went over to Virginia to train. You're a high school teacher, I think, or a substitute teacher. Then you go to the World League over in Amsterdam. Somehow survived the off-the-field activities that you could have fallen into. Stayed focused on kicking. Go into New England. Beat out Matt Barr at some point, even though he had an incredible career. Win Super Bowls. Memorable moments. Biggest moments in the sports history revolve around your foot in a lot of cases. Congratulations, man. You're the fucking best. I was honored to be your teammate. Yeah. I have a surprise, obviously. That's what this show is all about. We have boots on the ground in Cleveland, who I assume knew this was going to happen all along. Ladies and gentlemen, live from Cleveland, Mr. Jason Glazer. Your thoughts on Kyle Pitts to Atlanta, fine sir? Oh, there's a delay.
Well, first and foremost, Pat, I'd like to say, hey, listen, thanks for having me. Cleveland is beautiful this time of year. Granted, it does smell like a mixture of poop and diarrhea and sewage.
Jesus.
It doesn't smell great down here.
Jesus.
But I'll tell you what, 27 years in this thing, I fucking live for the draft. Love being down here. Love being into Cleveland. But yeah, Kyle Pitts, listen. What do you want me to say? I knew this 2 weeks ago. Really? I mean, do we need to do this whole fucking song and dance?
Okay.
I'll give you guys 1 through 32 if you want to know. You know, do you want to have fun?
That's nice.
You want to not know who's going? But yeah, I had this 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm wondering is if the guy you had in your studio, Mad Mel Kiper, I know that sorry son of a bitch didn't have this 2 weeks ago.
Mike's not plugged in.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I actually just explained it.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes,
No,
I
you
did.
didn't. No, you
Yes, I
didn't.
did.
No,
I
you
had
didn't.
this.
I did.
Yeah,
I
no,
did.
no, you
I
didn't.
did. You
I
didn't.
had this.
I
I
did.
had
You
it.
didn't.
Trust me. Can
You
I
didn't.
talk for Christ's sake?
Okay, fine, yeah.
Can
Go
I
ahead.
talk? Okay,
Go ahead.
yeah. Like I said, Kyle Pitts,
No, you didn't.
unbelievable talent.
No, you didn't. You didn't fucking
Yes,
have
I
it.
did.
No, you didn't. You're a bad sack of shit,
Jason.
Kiper. I know it. I looked at your mock draft.
Jason, please relax. Oh my God. Had no idea it was going to get like that. Sorry about that, Mad Mel. Obviously, there's a little bit of content there. He's saying you don't know your ass from a fucking hole in the ground, though, Mad Mel. How do you feel about that from Jason Glazer live in Cleveland?
Well, classic move. You know, Glazer looks like he's getting ready to go to a goddamn titty bar or something like that. I mean, dress up, pal. It's the NFL draft. Look at me. I'm dressed to the nines. You know, you look like an asshole. I mean, just get him out of here, can we? I mean, is he going to stick around? Can we get him the hell out of here?
I think is his microphone still on? Jay, can you hear us? Jay, is everything good back there?
Listen, fuck you guys. I'm out of here. I'm going over to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm going to hang out with Dee Snider and Twisted Sister.
Are you serious? Okay, Jason, sorry. Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, Jason Glazer.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. Hour 3 on this Coach Us Up Chuck, Wednesday, September 29th, 2021. We'll begin immediately following a rather sweet beat drop from Twine. There it is. Here we go. Just got done with Coach Us Up Chuck Wednesday. Chuck Pagano stopped by from Boise, Idaho, and gave us some riveting content. In the first hour, we had Spice Adams. Now, as joining us some days.
Some days.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Not the full week.
During the season. A guy who joins us for the last 2 hours, some of the days
Sometimes.
of the year.
Sometimes.
When he wants to.
Ladies and gentlemen, college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, and Ryder Cup champion, AJ Hawk. Some of the time, come around.
Every once in a while.
It's good to see
Hey,
you.
thank you. Good to be here. It's always good to be here when I'm here.
Yeah, it's like a vacation for you, like a little hobby. Every once in a while, I just get to dabble, jump on in, have a good time with the guys, a couple hours.
Vacation from his vacation.
Yeah, it's an interesting
cool.
thing.
Yeah.
The vacations are almost becoming work because he's got 5-6 kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got to keep his eye on Axel out there biting butt cheeks.
True.
You know what I mean? This is a nice little vacation. We're happy we can be a little getaway for you every once in a while these days. You know what I mean, AJ?
Hey, it's good to be here. The door may get banged on because Axel projectile vomited in my car this morning, so he is home.
No.
What'd you feed him?
Apple Jacks, actually, all over my truck.
Oh, I've been there.
Now, the opinions of AJ Hawk do not reflect that of the other person on the screen right now about Apple Jacks being the reason why Axel just puked all over his place. Apple Jacks are a pretty healthy snack, are they not?
No, he was car sick, man. He gets car sick a lot, and he was in the back.
You're driving 2-footed? Of course.
Put him in the trunk.
This is what happens. This is what happens whenever you're when you hit that thing and it's just a stop-go situation, and he's inhaling brake fumes because you're just wearing down the rubber. I mean, I could see how maybe it was the Apple Jacks. Yeah, maybe it was the Apple Jacks, and not just your driving style. You know what I mean?
It came out.
You look like a drummer with a double bass while you're driving, sir.
I'm super smooth. You know I'm super smooth.
Your kid's puking all over the place. You're not super smooth with it, obviously.
He gets it from me. That's the problem. I get car sick as well. So I think he was, he looks down or tries to mess with anything.
Do you get car sick when you drive or when anybody drives?
If I'm not driving, I definitely will get car sick.
Oh, that's because you're one with the car. You're plugged in like fucking Jacob Sully and that bird. You got both your legs attached to your goddamn things. It is absurd that is how you drive, dude.
Who does? I mean, my legs would never move like that.
Bro, it's like the fleet. You're down there like just fucking banging on the pedals, dude. It's absurd. I cannot believe that's how you drive. No wonder everybody in your family gets car sick, bro. Jesus Christ.
Hey, at the Ryder Cup thing, we stopped by this quick hospitality tent, this corporate thing, and some lady came up to me, put her arm around me, and she was like, "Hey, I think she said her daughter. My daughter is in college or something. I have to ask you, do you drive two-footed?"
Oh.
And I was like, "Yeah, of course." And she was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you really did." Like, she was so pumped. And I'm like, "All right, man, what has this show done?"
Did she mock you? Yeah, she mocked you?
No, she was actually pumped. I was like, "Yeah, you should try it. Honestly, it'd be a lot smoother." And she's like, "I don't know, maybe I will."
It's not.
Don't do
He
that.
ran into a telephone pole on the way home.
Update on this lady.
I threw her a basketball. I made her shoot free throws. You got to prove your athleticism before you can drive two-footed.
You're an idiot. You are the dumbest of all time. I want to let you know that. As he's wearing a Chuck Berry t-shirt. Did not even get to ask Chuck Pagano about his Chuck Berry love. Let's talk about some things that are happening around the NFL. We covered it a little bit there. Richard Sherman has a... I almost called him Richard Sermon, and Sermon is another player, right?
Trey
Sermon. Yeah, not Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon's still on the team that he was on. Trey Sermon's still doing what Trey Sermon does, but Richard Sherman has signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for $2.25 million this year. They were able to make room by somehow navigating the salary cap gymnastics better than anybody else with a man named Mike Greenberg, still being able to have $2.25 million at this stage to pay Richard Sherman a solid deal, as Rappaport is put it, which I think we all can say. Week 4, Richard Sherman, with what happened this offseason, not being at a training camp, getting a $2.25 million deal from the reigning Super Bowl champions. This is best case scenario for Richard Sherman. And I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who need some help on the back end, are probably very excited about this as well. Happy Richard Sherman is obviously past whatever he was going through that we all publicly documented and saw. Happy he's back in the league. The league's better with him in it.
Well, I mean, this is absolutely best case scenario. I mean, were you 100% sure that Richard Sherman was going to be back in the league?
No, there was a lot of people talking about him being a free agent. I was like, I think he's got to figure out what's going on off the field. We're they got to figure out what's going on off the field before they can get on the field. It sounds like if this is anything like anything I was involved with, he's going to be in the program. He had to go through a bunch of stuff, I assume, to get to this point to even get back on a team. So congratulations for him getting through that. And I bet you the Buccaneers are the perfect place for him to land. A bunch of vets down there. It's kind of like a retirement home down there. Guys are just on their way. Hey, we're going to win. That's all we're going to do. We're just going to win a bunch and have a good time down here paying no state tax. It's good for everybody down there.
Does he play this Sunday?
They said he is eligible to play this weekend. I think the conversation...
I hope he does.
Well, I think the conversation now will be like, what type of shape is he in? You know? Corner is not an easy thing just to get dropped.
They brought him in to work out. I'm sure that was a big thing of him working out. They wanted to see, like, hey, not only are you healthy, but are you in shape? Are we going to take 3 or 4 weeks to get ready?
Yeah, and he's a zone corner, right? He stays on one side. That's always a conversation whenever it comes into any other corner conversation in the greatest in history. I'm not going to get in the middle of that. I'm not athletic enough to have an opinion.
Just saying he's a zone corner, it would offend him enough, I'm sure.
Oh, really? So I shouldn't have said...
No corners want to be known as like a zone corner, but they can play zone, but they also can play man. So They don't want to be linked as like you're one or the other.
Okay, I didn't mean that then. Sherman...
If a guy's a cover 2 corner, if they say, oh, he's a cover 2 corner, that means he's a great tackler, and he's not a great cover man.
Okay, if they say you're just a zone corner, that means you just sit in a space, you can't track somebody? Is that why they're upset about it?
I mean, like DBs and corners are so good. Like the guys like that travel and you say like, all right, who's their stud receiver? I will travel with him every single play, no matter what. I will shadow him. Those guys are the ones that will try to like label others as, oh, well, you just stay on the same side. You're a zone guy. You're playing deep third. Like they'll do that.
You're saying I should not be the one doing that? No,
I wouldn't do it either because you'd have to. Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. We people like us And people that aren't like us, that are actually just like media members, probably shouldn't do that, though, is what you're saying.
No, other like Jalen Ramsey can say what he wants about other corners.
Darrelle Revis can say whatever he wants. That's what you're saying?
Yes. I mean, that's playing corner. Talk about an impossible position.
You got to be more athletic than the most athletic dudes somehow. And you got to also still be like a dog too, because you got to hit. You got to be able to get in there and hit. I mean, it's a different game out there. So I don't mean to offend anybody, but if he's coming right back in here week 4 off of everything he had to go through, Tampa's obviously got to be very, confident in his athletic ability, but that's a position that what we just talked about, you can get exposed. I mean, you can get exposed in one of those situations. And I assume that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Richard Sherman both are only going to put him out there knowing that he's ready to go. But it's a big game this weekend. Is there anybody on New England that you think they would have to up their secondary, at least with what they've shown thus far in Tampa Bay, and adding Richard Sherman this week is a big deal?
Absolutely not.
Okay. That comes from a Patriots fan. That's our breakdown of the weapons in New England. Who are the big weapons up there right now?
I mean, we got a hell of a center in David Andrews.
That's a weapon.
That guy can play.
That guy's a weapon.
Yeah, big weapon. I mean, when Chuck talked about hold on to the football, running against the Bucs is like the easiest part of their defense, so that shouldn't be a problem at all. I mean, Jonnu Smith, maybe, but he caused a pick 6 this past weekend. Aguilar, he had a good first game.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm doing great. This is the best I've felt in months.
I mean,
Jesus, this is what it's been. I literally thought maybe having him just cut a promo for how good the Patriots could potentially be would bring him out of it. And instead,
How could I cut a promo with how good the Patriots are when they haven't looked good, except against the Jets, who are the worst team in the league?
It's a tough time, huh?
It's a tough time.
Hello?
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. That was on me. I said I wasn't going to do it anymore because I know it brings up, nightmare moments, because that Sunday Night Football video with that song in it is just so goddamn good.
It is glorious.
It has him switch the jersey.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Hello on the outside. Jersey chain.
Mm-hmm.
And then now we're hearing like, Tom wanted to go talk to him. And Bill was like, nah. Huh? Sorry. I mean, it is the perfect song about the situation right now happening in Foxborough, AJ. Perfect song.
I mean, yeah. Well, what if, we don't know the story, though. What if Bill was at a funeral for a family member, and that's why he couldn't meet Tom?
Bill said that he did that wasn't true in the interview from the Greg Hill show, apparently, on Monday that he did. But
he said the Seth Wickersham book maybe has a falsehood that is allegedly being quoted right now.
Yeah, he said, today he said there's a lot of second and third hand sources in the book and not actually
More like
first hand.
Wickersham, am I right?
There it is.
Did Bill read it?
Yeah, coaches never lie.
Especially Bill.
True. And anonymous sources never do either,
Yeah.
Anonymous sources never. Yeah, I mean, they've never really
have.
gotten things wrong or anything like that. Maybe some sort of benefit for themselves or a potential axe to grind.
I mean, at some point, Bill and Brady will sit down, hopefully.
Who's going to host it? You?
No, Rich Eisen.
He'll be fine.
Well, Rich Eisen is one.
He's the one that
an Oscar and Emmy with Bill.
And wasn't Tom also at the table? Wasn't he the one that kind of coerced the Emmy when they
That
were
was for
doing
the NFL Top 100
Top
show.
100 team? Yeah,
So it'd be Rich sitting in between them.
They got to do the Shaq Kobe, just them two.
that'd be awesome too.
Oh, and just have questions floated from a voice of God? Yeah.
Like
have them just in a room and have somebody drop down and say, hey, Bill, after Tom nearly severed his thumb off of Rex Burkhead's fucking helmet 2 days before a AFC championship game, and then they go back and win, and he leads a win. You came out, Bill, and said, it's not fucking brain surgery, kind of to diminish that what he accomplished was good after a win, literally immediately after a win. Was that because you hated Tom? I will disappear now and listen to your answer. And then imagine them just sitting there, staring at each other, completely empty room. Yeah, Tom probably, why did you do that? Like, and then that's probably the only way you could do it, right?
Yeah, Kevin Garnett. I think Kevin Garnett could be the guy in between them, throwing questions back and forth.
Saban.
Why did you say Kevin Garnett? There has to be a
Because I've
reason.
seen him tell stories and stuff. Like, haven't you seen when he goes on with All the Smoke or the different podcasts? Like, he's a great storyteller. And I think he would be a presence where he could be like, hey, come on, Bill, that was messed up, right?
Kevin Garnett. I love
he'd be
Kevin
awesome.
Garnett. He's an incredible actor, by the way.
Uh-huh.
Deserved a
Uncut
goddamn
Gems.
Oscar
JT,
for
huh?
the Jules thing.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Uncut Gems.
Yeah, that thing, he deserved it. It was a great movie. I mean, there was like 10 different times where Adam Sandler's character could have definitely got his money back and paid off everybody and not died. So it was hard to really, it's hard to really feel for the Sandman, who I love. I want to let everybody know I love him. But the Sandman I know, at like 4 different times in that movie, would have been like, all right, I'm just going to sell this and I'm out. I'm
Cash
good.
out.
Yep.
But instead, he just kept going. He's naked. He's dead. It's like, all right, dude, this could have ended an hour and a half ago. You had the money an hour and a half ago, dude. But he ended up dead. No spoilers, but
did he die really?
In that movie?
No.
Yeah.
Someone killed him
right in the head, dude. Yep.
Who shot him?
He hit a massive bed, and then the Russians killed him.
Yeah, he was actually finally there. He finally made it back illegally, kind of, but he made it back when he could have done it.
I watched it, but I wasn't paying too close attention. I mean, that was pretty long. Like, I feel like a lot of people pumped that movie up big time. The expectations were sky high heading into it, which is never a great thing for me.
Yeah, me neither. And we kind of thought the same thing. I was really watching it, and I was like, okay, this thing could be over now. And they proceeded to have another hour and a half, I think. And it was like, all right, you're losing me. But it wasn't a Happy Madison production. That's why, I cannot like it. You know what I mean?
Plus, we watched the version with the volume on 800 when it shouldn't be listened to that loud.
It was very loud. Yeah, we got a preview.
Why?
We got a preview of the movie. You know what I mean?
Oh, you got a screener because you're part of like the Screen Actors Guild?
I'm not a part of the
SAG?
Screen Actors Guild. I don't think I've ever acted. You would have a lot more chance of being in the SAG than I, and maybe one day we'll be able to get lifetime insurance is what the SAG gets, I think.
No, you got to like book jobs though consistently to get lifetime insurance, I think.
Oh, really? I thought it was just whatever the case. No, we got asked if we wanted to see it. We watched it, and somebody watched the movie with us and watched us watching the movie. Counted how many times we laughed.
Wait, where was this?
It was at a movie theater here in Indy. This lady, she had a notebook.
You were like a control group. You were like one of the groups where they test it.
And then they asked for some quotes afterwards, and I didn't give one.
Turn the fucking volume down.
It's too long. Now, whoa. Nothing Adam Sandler
They
does.
want feedback though, so you should say that if you felt that.
So maybe it's my fault that you watched a 7-hour movie that could have been over about 45 minutes into that thing.
I said the hot dogs are good.
It was a good movie. I mean, it
A lot
was
of other people
It was good. Sandman. You know what I mean? Sandman
thought he was going to win an Oscar. He was.
He
legit
deserved
upset.
it. So did Kevin Garnett. Back to your point, if he does get to sit down
Francesa
with Bill and Francesa,
Yeah. Yep.
dumbest fucking bet I've ever heard in my life or something like that. Right?
And he doesn't curse. So
that was a big deal.
Yeah.
They all deserved Oscars or whatever the awards they give to each other over there. Golden Globes.
Sure.
Oscars, yeah.
Oscars.
And they basically just said, hey, Sandman, stick to the fucking fart jokes on Netflix. The same for you.
What's that all about?
Yeah.
That's why I don't like all those award shows, because they won't let somebody like Sandman in.
Yeah, but he released the banger that was Hubie Halloween right after.
Unfucking believable, thank
Uh-huh.
you. And now they're cutting up clips of him balling. I mean, in cargos.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
He might
He
be
can
the coolest.
play, man.
Yes, he might be
Very
the coolest guy of all time. Sandman.
Absolutely.
Let's go to some phone calls here on the 5-Hour Energy phone line. Go to 5hourenergy.com. Use promo code McAfee to get 10% off of your order. This will end in a couple days. But we got.
If I use the first take version of McAfee, do I get the promo?
Now it's MCAFEE. I understand that the worldwide leader had MAC, although that is the phonetic spelling. It is just MCA. And a quick little thing, I believe it's Scottish. My people were kicked out of Scotland into Ireland, I believe way back. But if there's
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you. I don't know what they did. We've always been Mavericks, guys. We've always been Mavericks. Hey, don't tell us what to do. You get the fuck out. All right. So we kind of moved over to Cork County, Ireland. I did a little research after I into the thing and found out that I was 0.01% Italian. But if you see a vowel after a C, okay, I think it is pronounced Mac. If it is a other letter, consonant, yeah, it is pronounced Mick. Okay, so people say, like, why is McGregor, McDonald's that? I believe if it's MC with a vowel, like McIntyre, for instance, is MCI. If it's a vowel, it is to be pronounced Mac. So, just a little something. And I wish somebody would have gave me that type of breakdown before they handed me a card that said, Okariki. Okariki, because now that is not how he pronounces his name. The whole world has been pronouncing his name wrong. It's Okarika, I guess, or Okarika.
Bobby, really?
Yes, he's of Nigerian descent, and that is the actual announcing. And it has become a deal now. It has become an actual deal that his name has been pronounced wrong. And everybody has obviously gone right back to the old draft night, when the future Hall of Famer was drafted. And I said it twice, because that was literally how it was told to me to say it. And I was saying that to actually She was a very nice lady, but almost like a throwback to her, like like it was told to me like I was a 5-year-old almost. And I'm like, okay. And it was spelled out. I'm like, okay. So I just would like to let everybody know that I'm not happy about mispronouncing that guy's name. All right. I wish I would have pronounced it right. And I don't know how long he had changed his name for, but I apologize for it because I love Bobby Okereke. He's a hell of a fucking player. Future Hall of Famer still, no matter how you pronounce it, AJ.
What college did he go to? Do you remember?
Stanford. Big brain.
Yeah, I did one of his games for FS1. We called him Bobby Okereke.
Yeah, you were probably told the same phonetic spelling that I was.
It was in their program because they always give you like the pronouncers.
Yeah.
Keep saying it like that, AJ, and Commander Aziz is going to come find you.
Yeah, and Apollo Crews. He'll fuck you up.
Get ready.
He'll fuck you up, dude.
Big scary people, you're right.
Commander Aziz answered AJ Hawk, by the way. I don't know.
He did.
Yeah, because AJ said, "Who is Commander Aziz?" and said some disparaging things about Apollo
No,
Crews.
I didn't. No, I
You
didn't.
did. You did.
I know who
you
he
did.
is.
You did. A little bit. You did.
So you took a selfie video with him and sent it to me.
Yeah, and he cut a great promo.
He was good.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I didn't put that out because, I didn't want people to think that Commander Aziz would actually kill a man, because that's what it sounded like whenever he was talking to AJ.
Yeah,
Hawk.
well, and
He would, though. He would. Commander Aziz would if he had to.
And he'd have the right to, because AJ called him a big dumb dipshit, and that was, we were like, what are you doing? You can't say that about
You did,
Commander
AJ.
Aziz.
Commander Aziz is a good guy. He protects his people.
And that's why I said when I became aware of what you guys were talking about, I was like, yeah, of course, he's great. I know who he is.
Real genuine.
You saw the video Commander Aziz sent to you. Why are you still going with this ploy that he's some sack of shit, basically?
Yeah. First of all, I never said that. Ever.
You did.
I mean, hopefully next time you try to do a selfie video with you, he just donkey punches you right in the back of the head. You think he will?
No,
because he
he'll
knows
do
you're
it.
trying to mess with him.
He'll do that to your head. Okay, and
I know. I don't want him to. That's what I'm saying. I'm on his side.
I know your jaw has taken on the likes of, just absolute animals on a football field and everything like that. But Commander Aziz brings that Nigerian nail in like this
Yeah.
to the back of your head. I don't know what your jaw's going to be able to do.
Yeah. Pop you like a balloon.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll be out cold. You're right.
It's going to be AJ Hawk on a thumb like this.
Mhm.
You're going to be, your body's going to be going this way. You know what I mean? He's going to
Which way?
Pow, and then you're going to be this way. Right here, you're just going to be holding up. And you're going to be like, "Can you rotate the Hawk?" And he's going to be like, "Yeah, Mighty Ducks."
Yeah.
It's going to be that. That's going to happen. All right, because when he does that move, that's what he's trying to do, right? He's trying to jam that thing. He's trying to
jam it where?
Through their skull.
Yeah, top of the head.
Okay.
I mean, Kevin Owens still, I believe his
Can't
voice
talk.
box is, I haven't heard him talk in 6-7 weeks.
He'll do that to you, pal, so you don't have to just take days off. You actually won't be able to speak because the Nigerian nail would do so much damage to your vocal cords.
Make
Let's
you
go.
dance like a meat puppet.
Jesus. What? I don't know what that is. There was no reason for that. Nick, a meat puppet? All right. That's what Ben Roethlisberger's been doing in this.
Whoa.
He needs to get back to it.
He needs to find his meat puppet.
No reason for that.
All right, let's go. Let's go to the 5 Hour Energy phone line. New graphics thing ends tomorrow.
Yeah.
You run that thing in. Look how nice that is.
Gorgeous.
Wow. Just in time.
They got it.
I was wondering why. Yeah, why is it new?
I think they sent us to this one and said, "Hey, we'd like to add something onto it." I think deal ends tomorrow.
It does.
I
One
think.
final push.
Hey, let's go. 5hourenergy.com. Use code McAfee. Get 10% off. They got 15 flavors on that thing. It's delicious.
They're so good.
Get you to A to B, no problem. Huh? What's A to B? A is where you are now. B is, woo, I got energy.
Mm-hmm.
And they do that for 5 hours for you at 5hourenergy.com. Let's go to George in South Bend. What's going on, George?
Yo, what is good, Pat the Boys and Billy
5
Butt
Hour.
Cheeks?
5 Hour Energy, dude. What's good with you, dude?
Yo, I'm chilling.
Respect.
Yo, I've got 2 questions. What are the top 3 moments of you and AJ's career? And then how the fuck is Nick Sirianni a head coach in the National Football League?
Okay.
I would rather watch Ben Roethlisberger jerk his Jurgen.
All right.
We need to stop. We need to stop
All right.
that.
That's George. We apologize for having to cut you off there, but it sounded like you're about to talk about something that we've cut off the conversation for at least another 24 hours.
Thank you.
Okay, we got to put that one to bed maybe for a little bit, George. But top 3 moments is a lot of moments. AJ, your top moment, Super Bowl, I assume?
I would say, yeah. Top moment for me would be we played the Pittsburgh Steelers, led by Ben Roethlisberger in the Super Bowl, and we beat him. That was probably my top.
And that was back when Ben was Ben. You know what I mean?
Ben was absolutely Ben. He was slanging it.
That was Visor Ben. He was slinging it.
Yeah, Visor Ben is a whole different Ben from the Ben
He
that
was
we know
popping
now.
so hard, those
well,
times.
see, that's what we cut off the conversation about. It couldn't even make it less than 34 seconds. That will be the last mention. I think for me was when I had a completion on Thanksgiving Day against the Steelers that were led by Ben Roethlisberger. At that time.
Ben was Ben too, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah, they're throwing for like 500 yards at that time.
Massive forearms.
Hey, who do you think sends him these clips? Like, hey man, what's up with this show?
Anyways, no.
The church.
There's so many moments, dude. There's so many moments. You know what I mean?
Kicking off Super Bowl.
Yeah, kicking off Super Bowl is absurd. That's what's saying we lost.
Rookie year, right?
Yeah, rookie year. I should not have been there. I was living quite a life, too, at the time.
Recovering your own onside kick.
Pretty cool. Yeah, running for a first down is cool. Having a couple tackles is cool. But I think the pass against the Ben Roethlisberger's team had to be at the top. You know what I mean? If Troy Polamalu would let me score a fucking touchdown, AJ, that would have been great. And let's talk about Sirianni now. How about you jumping over Sproles? Oh, because it was a penalty.
That's right.
That's just like kicking off the Super Bowl for me. Like, yeah, I kicked off the Super Bowl, but we did lose it. You know what I mean? So it's like, can't really talk about it much for you. I mean, you jumped over a human on a football field, probably won the game in that moment. And then the ref said, nah, actually, that's illegal. You can't do that. So you can't even celebrate that play that much anymore.
I cannot. But another one that popped into my head was I got an interception off of we were playing, I believe, the Steelers at home and thrown by Ben Roethlisberger.
Okay, so did you catch that thing one-handed or did you go
I
stranger?
caught it one-handed with my right hand, actually.
Oh, so you didn't go stranger with that thing. You are right hand dominant, right? You kind of caught that thing.
Cast on. Yeah, I had a cast on. Yeah, I pulled it down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ben loves throwing the linebackers.
Yeah, he does like throwing the linebackers at the moment, I guess, and that's because maybe you guys don't have any play action that can maybe make the linebackers get out of the way of where the ball is supposed to be thrown in.
There's been a lot more play action this year than last year.
Well, that's because Matt Canada's bringing a whole new offense.
Thank you, Matt Canada.
Because Matt Canada's dealing with a brand new. Matt Canada's not dealing with the same Ben Roethlisberger that threw a pick to A.J. Hawk. No, he's dealing with a much different Ben now. Would you like to explain or elaborate on that?
He's a little older.
Okay. Physically deteriorated a little bit.
No, just a little older.
Okay.
Arm's still the same. He may not be able to move as well. That's about it.
Nothing else different? No. There's nothing else that's different about Ben Roethlisberger right now than maybe the Roethlisberger that threw an interception.
What year did you play, Ben?
I don't know. 2012 maybe?
Well, that was the Super Bowl.
No, 2010 was the Super Bowl. It was 2010 season, but I think I picked him off a couple years later.
So probably 2013, 2012, whatever.
He was joyriding his motorcycle around town, not a care in the world.
No helmet.
No helmet.
No license.
No license.
Going
Spit it out.
Going through blind intersections.
Wearing Drink Like a Champion shirts pretty much every day. Down the South Side.
What else?
That was my Ben.
A lot of pictures of Ben with his eyes.
The only thing he was doing on Sunday was slinging fucking touchdowns. He wasn't going to a house of God.
Oh, worship.
But thank you to Coach Pagano.
Yeah.
Faith is back in my life.
Why?
Because I realize that faith is believing in something that you can't see, because one day, if you do it correctly enough, you'll see it.
Yeah. And what's your faith right now?
My faith's in 7.
Oh, okay. Called for Roethlisberger. Called for Aaron Rodgers yesterday.
Yep.
All of Pittsburgh did. Called for Matt Corral just a couple days ago. But your faith is in your Lord and Savior. 7 for 7.
Exactly.
All right. Let's go to the phone calls. You need to start praying now. You know what I mean? And what happens?
I am worried about the afterlife now after what has transpired this week.
Yeah, I mean,
especially because this is all.
We don't even have time for that conversation right now. But I've asked a lot of people. I'm like, what is heaven, dude? And it's like, it's this sinless sanctuary or whatever. And I'm like, okay. And I mean, Biggie has a song about it, not wanting to go to heaven. I'd rather go to hell. There's a whole thing about that. And that sounds like the devil speaking, by the way. That sounds like the devil speaking. But once you start thinking about, like, what is this place that these people are giving up their entire lives for? And it's just it's a sinless, happy land, I guess. It's like an incredible place. That's what we're all doing for.
Sounds pretty sweet.
Yeah. Eternity, by the way. And if not, you're going to be in a Lil Nas X video. Right?
That's right.
If you don't end up there.
Yeah, that's right.
I'd rather.
Living in fire.
Yeah. Let's go to the phone calls. Sirianni, though. He still has a chance to be a great head coach.
I'm still the smartest human being in the NFL. We will get this figured out. Yeah, we've looked like shit 2 weeks in a row, okay? Jalen needs to play better. We want me to.
Whoa. Speaking of something that Ben Roethlisberger doesn't do anymore, that would be something that Roethlisberger would have done in the past, but didn't do it on purpose, which is burying somebody else and throwing somebody under the bus. Instead, Roethlisberger this week, talking to the media, has been doing nothing but putting over his team and his coaches. We need to just execute the plays that are called, says Roethlisberger. Our coach does a great job of taking the blame, and he doesn't need to take it anymore. We, as players, need to take more accountability and execute the plan and make it work. Listen to Roethlisberger going right to the quarterback generic bullshit speak 101 book, page 1, right there. All right, Ben.
That's my leader.
All right, Ben. Because normally it would be like, a couple of these play calls, maybe not great calls. We've got good players on the sideline. We'd like to have them in there. Now it's like, no, maybe Ben Roethlisberger is realizing that although he doesn't mean to potentially throw people under the bus, it seems like every time he spoke, he did throw people under the bus. Now he's just going with the canned bullshit answer, and sometimes you got to give that if you're the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, AJ.
Yeah, so are you saying he's a changed man? Like he's different now than he was before? Is he better or worse, you think?
Well, I think with his teammates, it's probably going to be for better. There's another quote that came out. Ben Roethlisberger today on the failed 4th and 10 pass to Najee Harris. Now that he's had a chance to go back and look at it on film, you know what? I forget everything now about that play. I'm sorry. So Roethlisberger also saying, I'm not talking about it. I'm not talking about a bad play. He wasn't going to blame anybody for anything there. He just, I forget about it, man. I'm sorry. I just lost my mind. I'm sorry. What play? You can talk about it.
Heel Ben. Love it.
Is this heel Ben or is this baby? This is babyface Ben, by the way.
Not for the media, but for everyone else. Yes.
Oh, towards the media, yes. To his teammates, this is babyface,
Correct.
though, because he's finally saying stuff that can't just be construed as him throwing people under the bus. This is good news as a quarterback in the NFL, AJ.
Yeah, good news for his team. Like I'm sure his teammates like to see it. You know, Ben's. I look for the Steelers to get back on track here real soon.
Me too, because of these quotes.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
And Diggs' criticism, I'm sure that will light a fire under Ben.
Absolutely. Yeah, not as big as the fire that he had from rubbing.
No, he always uses lotion. There was no fire. There was no friction.
I was talking about stick when he was camping because he kumbaya.
Oh, that's right.
What are you talking about?
Good luck finding these quotes,
Greasing
though.
up footballs.
Different kind of stick.
You were talking about him
cracking,
cracking.
Yeah, cracking his own stick.
What are you saying?
I said good luck finding these quotes, though, because the one about him, taking accountability and on the players and the coaches are taking too much heat for themselves, that's buried at the bottom of a Florida.
Oh, so you're saying that maybe it's a little narrative that has been pushed about Roethlisberger saying bad things about his teammates, and whenever he doesn't say bad things about his teammates and he does take accountability, it doesn't get reported? Is this
That's
journalist?
not true because Dr. Florio doesn't care about clicks.
He told us that is not how the media works. When Aaron Rodgers said that the media does strive to get clicks because that generates money and income, because if you have clicks, then you can say you have impressions, which means views on companies that have been paying to be on the spot. Literally, as he said that, there was a paid ad right below that quote.
Smack dab in there.
On that thing. And Florio said that you don't do negative to get clicks. And Florio, by the way, OG in the blog game. Okay, OG has sold 2 blogs to people. He's been around a long time. I think when Aaron questioned the business ethics of the blog game or the internet game, I think he took offense to it because he's an OG in that whole thing. But it was a nice little coincidence that literally there was a company that nobody will ever use that was paying just to be seen underneath that quote that we did care about. So, yeah, that's business.
I mean, of course, negative. So, of course, negative is what people want to see. Like, do you think if you put a story like a headline, Big Ben gives $100K to his favorite charity, you think people are going to click on that every day?
I don't think he does that. Is Ben a big? I'm joking.
He donates police canines.
Correct.
Wow. Oh yeah. You're right.
But you wouldn't know that, AJ, because you only focus on the negative.
Yeah, that's your thing. It generates clicks.
I am absolutely pro Ben. I've known Ben since he was in college. I used to watch him play. So yeah, I'm all on Ben's side.
Why don't you use your Green Bay pool, go to the game this weekend in Lambeau and talk to him on the sideline with sideline pass and get his take on all this?
Yeah, why don't you try to go to the source for us, because we don't have a chance to do that.
No.
Okay. I'm sure he'd be very open to talk after people have sent him clips over the last 2 years of this same conversation.
I think he would want to get in front of it and say, hey, listen, you guys are always talking about me and my penis. Can we stop that? You know what I mean?
And then what am I going to say? No?
Just say like, hey, Ben, listen, when you won't give $100K to the Boys and Girls Club, but you'll fund Big Wet Butts 15 for $100K, like something's going on.
All right, this is not going to help this potential. Just if you ever see him at one of these events, and I'm not sure if he goes to any of them, could you please let him know that This is all from love. You know, we grew up watching Ben Roethlisberger.
We love him.
We do.
I mean, my brother was Ben's roommate his freshman year in college on away games.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he went to college together.
So you're the one that sends the videos to Ben Roethlisberger. That is why I was blocked by Big Ben 7 for so long.
these guys are saying about you?
Yeah, I
Jeez.
try to stick up for you, man. I say my brother's roommates with him.
So AJ's brother can't confirm this for us.
Yeah, that's probably where it all started, huh?
No, you guys made me aware of this whole. I still haven't seen this video.
Your brother and Ben, freshman year of college, had a projector up on the side of their fucking dorm room.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Every hotel
Where do you
room.
think AJ found the Chuck Berry video?
It's all coming together now.
Wow.
It was all coming and it's all coming together now.
Hey, brother, check out this video Ben showed me on the road this week.
Yeah. We did it together there. We
So was
raced.
Pink Eye.
Soggy Biscuit. Let's go to Kyle and Dayton.
We're the only show that covers this angle, aren't we?
Let's go to Kyle and Dayton. What's going on, Kyle?
Dayton, uh-oh.
Hey, how are you doing today?
Hey, just hanging out. Anyway, you went to college with Ben Roethlisberger or anything like that? The University of Miami in Ohio?
Nah, Ben was before my time. I did play against Braxton Miller in high school, though.
Whoa.
Okay.
Hell of a player. What do you want to talk about, Kyle?
So I've got a question for you, and I want to make a bet with AJ.
All right.
Can't wait.
Okay, AJ, here's my bet. Fairmont and Centerville play their last game in Centerville this year.
Let's go,
If
Elks.
Fairmont wins, could you retweet my girlfriend's hype video she makes for Fairmont?
I think Center was going to win the game.
Well,
that's the point.
You probably didn't hear him through the connection. Kyle, let me relay the message here to the baboon.
How would I know what his girlfra's hype video? How would it get to me?
He would probably figure out how to give it to you. But is Centerville Fairmont a big rivalry over there? The
Yeah,
Elks?
Fairmont's Fairmont's in Kettering. I was born in Kettering. Right there, right next to it.
Okay, Kyle, just hold on, Kyle. Let's figure this out. So if Fairmont wins, will you retweet Kyle's girlfriend's hype video for Fairmont High School that she makes?
I mean, I'm not going to commit to that right now.
Dude. He's got to think about it, Kyle. What was your next question?
She's great at it, I'm sure.
If you get an official WWE figure announced, how hype are you going to be?
Oh, thank you, Kyle. I think he talked about a figurine. Is that what he said?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I got a bunch of them, I guess. Shot at. Hefty Lefty, Jared Lorenzo, moment of silence. Rest in peace. I fucking love you, dude. Pillsbury throw boy, bro.
That's right. Love you, Lefty.
Love you, Lefty, dude. Rest in peace, dude. Super Bowl champion. And then obviously we got, Aaron Rodgers reigning MVP.
There's one more.
And then there's a dead AJ Hawk over there. And what I'm saying is figurines are only supposed to be for legends.
We got two.
You know what I mean?
Well.
And Jesus Christ is up here and Bob Ross. They're those. By the way, that's what I'm saying. So I don't think I've earned one yet, I don't think I've gotten to the point, but maybe 15, 20 years from now, if there becomes a McAfee figurine, I'll be very...
Did you see the video floating around the internet from Monday Night Football of Greasy?
Yeah.
Predicting the play.
Yes, that was
Bob
awesome.
Ross.
Yeah, he said, Bob Ross, he liked the paint. Looks like it's a draw. I love if that's going to continue to happen because I was very lucky to sit in on a signal meeting for Peyton. Peyton, Curtis Painter, a couple other quarterbacks, and coach. I think Clyde Christensen was in there, and I just so happened to be in the room somehow. And this has kind of been a thing that has happened to me in my life where I've just somehow been in the room where these things are happening. It's like, well, I'm not supposed to be here, but I guess we might as well enjoy it. Listening to them figure out different signs for what, and it's like second level thinking, like the Bob Ross, like, okay, this is this, and then the cities that people do, and then right, left, east, west, but then also sometimes, well, let's flip it then so we can do the, sometimes it's so obvious. I feel like some guys question it, but TJ Watt even told us that he'll watch the entire game with his eyes closed just to listen to some of the calls and the cadences to see if he can pick anything up. Was that big whenever you were playing? Because I assume it was even more basic back in the day before everything was kind of heard via everything mic'd up.
No, it started to happen more and more like the later I got my last 2 or 3 years in the league where we would watch clips from the TV copy because those mics on the refs and on the center would pick up different little calls and checks they had. But offenses knew it. They would obviously change they hated it. They would have to change some of their signals and their little code words every week.
I think the biggest display of being able to memorize signals and words is the Legion of Boom, Seattle Seahawks against Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl. They had 2 weeks with that Legion of Boom, who was an incredibly high football IQ, incredibly athletic and talented crew. They had 2 weeks, and they knew every single signal and audible that Peyton had. It was very obvious from the first play. Everything that they were doing was just getting eaten up. And I thought, I don't know if it's come out or not, but I thought it was very apparent from watching. It was like, oh, these, and they didn't have to check. They didn't have to tell anybody like, hey, hook's coming or whatever. Didn't have to tell anybody. They all were on the same page. And I guess that's what good defenses do. But I thought that was very apparent. Like, oh, they know exactly what Peyton's doing. And I assume after that, Peyton had to change a bunch of shit and they had to continue to move along. And quarterbacks have to do that. But there's some places that, you know, they're still calling the shit the same that they have like 15 years ago, I think.
Yeah. Oh, it happens because a lot of times when you think you have something like a defense, like, oh, we got this. When they say goose, we know that they only run to the right side. Like things like that. You're like, okay, guys focus all in on it. They think about it. And then the game ends. They're like, hey, did you ever hear goose? Like, no, I never heard goose. And then you all of a sudden watch a TV copy and he said it 9 times. Like stuff like that happens.
Yeah, because you black out in there. And also, that's like the Clay Matthews, Cam Newton situation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you've been watching film, huh? That's not, and literally on the play, it's something different because they know that it was potentially heard by everybody what happened. So it's it's a game give and take, and I love that Greasy's getting into that. I mean, I love that. Let's go ahead and do that thing because we're going to be watching him for the next 3 weeks.
That's right. The Broncos defense talked about that too when they played the Panthers in the Super Bowl, that within those 2 weeks they didn't change any of their play calls or any of their hand signals, so they knew basically what they were doing on offense for damn near every play.
Geniuses too. You got to be very smart to be able to do that, by the way. You know, you got to be able to memorize.
Yeah.
And act and react. It's just, and everybody has to be on the same page. Everybody has to trust everybody. So instead of just screaming like, ah! But then there's times where I guess Ben Roethlisberger would literally go out to wide receivers and go, run a go route. And the defense would actually be on this side as opposed to this side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he would
act like they didn't hear.
And they had to act like they didn't hear what Roethlisberger was saying. Like, is this guy? And then they would run what he said. And it's like, okay, everybody, just a heads up, everybody. Ben is actually screaming, hey, out to them. That's insane that happens, but that does happen in the NFL, I guess.
There's also dummy words, though. There's also dummy words and dummy signals that they'll give, too. Like, hey, whatever I say at the line, none of it matters. Like, they'll do that, and they'll call it, like, real checks. You can make real calls, and then, oh, hey, we know this one. They're going to run power over here to this side. And, like, no, it was all dead. Like, he knew going in, whatever I say, no one's listening to.
Couple quick situations with that with Peyton, because he had so many. Obviously, he has a production company named after one of the things he would scream and got picked up on TV all the time, Omaha. There was a game where he made a call. It was as we were running down the clock, and the defensive lineman was on the team before, knew exactly what the play was. And before, as soon as Peyton said whatever it was, the D lineman started screaming with Peyton under center, so he's less than 6 inches away from him. He starts saying, hey, it's going right here. This play's going right here. It's supposed to be a draw up the middle or whatever, and I think it was supposed to be to Dominic Rhodes or whatever. And literally Peyton hears the guy saying that, and he goes, oh, he's right, actually. And then and he just kept it, and he scamped for 45 yards. The entire team just corralled down on there. He was like, I fucking heard you. You know, if that guy didn't say anything, he probably doesn't change it. And then another interesting situation, what the fuck, Donald Brown, I think was the quote, or come on, Donald Brown, or whatever the quote was. It's on the internet, where Donald Brown allegedly missed a block or a protection that Peyton allegedly, now this is told by other people that weren't from the Manning camp, I'd like to hear his story of it. Allegedly he called bozo, which is clown, which is a fake call. Then he called a call, and the bozo is supposed to offset what the next call is. And then after he called that call, he ran that play, and nobody else did. But Donald Brown was a rookie, and he got buried for it. And now it's God damn it, Donald, or whatever. Publicly, the microphones all picked it up. But everybody in the building was like, didn't he call bozo? He called bozo. Everybody thinks about it. It's a lot. There's a lot to happen in people's brains while trying to move as fast as possible. That's why the game of football is so goddamn beautiful.
Yeah, I don't think you have as much, back and forth that happens at the line of scrimmage. It happens like a second before the ball is snapped in any other sport. Like, there's so much happening.
And I think this is what Tom and Aaron were talking about, dumbing down a little bit.
Yeah.
Because the quarterback now, a lot of reactionary offenses, because the game and the schemes have taken advantage of the new rules and the new athletes and how fast everybody is. But watching somebody that is that cerebral, like look, and having the defense even like trying to hide it. It's like a game that's happening, and then as soon as they figure it out, boom, it's a success shot, or bang, we got you. Like that's some high level shit that's going on the field.
And when guys like Peyton or Tom or Aaron come to the line, they just kind of casually look around. They're just checking out the defense, looking where everybody is. Guys on defense like freeze too, like, uh-oh. this guy doesn't know what I'm doing. Oh, I can't show it. You got to hold your water, as all coaches say.
How do I always
Listen.
stand? Do I always
Take a
stand?
step.
Do I always stand with my right leg forward or my left leg forward? Oh my God.
That's real. That's absolutely real.
That's awesome. And I've told this story before, and it's so cool that some corner got hurt, and literally a rookie corner came on the field, and I watched Peyton, because his satellite or whatever, he literally just followed that guy all the way over to where he was, and then he just checked the play, and he just bang, 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 bang. It was like number 47 or 37's coming onto the field. That is a bad number. Aaron's talked about it. That we don't know who this guy is. He's got no pool, though, if that's the number he's wearing. Let's assume he's not that great. Let's go ahead. I tell you, it's awesome. Again, football is beautiful. We'll talk more about it on the other side, more phone calls. We can't thank you enough for listening and watching wherever the hell you may be. This is Coaches Up Chuck. Wednesday, September 29th, we'll wrap up this beautiful show on Sirius XM on the other side of this 4-minute break. Cheers. Ladies and gentlemen, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Coach Mike Tomlin.
Oh, man, Pat, it's an honor to be on with you, man. Thanks for having me.
You're a legend. Thank you for putting me through my workout and having the scouts actually come watch me kick at West Virginia. I don't think I've ever fully thanked you for that moment, Coach.
No, man. I've drank the McAfee Kool-Aid for a long time.
Let's get right into it. The locker room culture changed completely when I was in the league, from when I was a rookie to when I was done, and I retired after the 2016 season. Now it's even more different, I would assume, from when you came into Pittsburgh and everything like that. The dancing on the logo, the TikTok, everything like that you guys have had to experience. What is your messaging in there? How do you adapt and let players be themselves without, doing too much? Because that is a fine balance that you've been able to do, I think, in an incredible job with throughout your entire time in Pittsburgh.
I think for me, more than anything, I try to stay connected. Just getting a sense of where these guys are coming from, what's in vogue for their generation, what captures their attention, how do they learn, how do they communicate, how do they interact with each other formally and informally. And I think being a parent kind of helps me. My boys are 19 and 20, so it's not much difference between them and some of the younger guys that I deal with here. And so for me, it's just about gaining an understanding, working to stay connected. That's my general attitude, man. It's adapt or die for me. And I don't want to be one of them old crusty guys, man, that just refuses to adapt. Although I am one of those old crusty guys now.
Yeah, you are old as shit now. You know what I mean? You've been around a long time. I remember back in the day, whenever you showed up, there was a lot more, to the camera. There was a lot more.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that. Now you're just old ass man now, huh?
You know how it is. Years in this business will scar you, man. It'll settle you down.
That is classic. One of my favorite moments with you is when you would tell me every warm-up, I'm going to get you back to Pittsburgh when you're old and cheap. What does that mean? What did that mean? And should that have been taken as a smack in the mouth, like whenever you said that to me?
No, man, it was a tip of the cap, man. There's certain guys around this league that I'm really interested in, but I know I cannot afford. And you were one of them, so I was going to wait for you to physically deteriorate a little bit until you came back into my wheelhouse.
Yinzers are going to go bananas in Heinz Field this weekend. First time it could be filled up in a long time. I can't wait to see it, and I can't wait to... Oh, mama, I'm here for my life. Is that your alarm clock? Yeah, just say yes, by the way. Yeah.
It's my ringtone. It's my alarm clock.
We appreciate you, Coach T. Last question before we let you go. Why'd you let Troy Polamalu do what he fucking did to me? I know you've heard of this. Why? Well, that's a short side of the field. That's bad football. You guys coaching unsound football over there in Pittsburgh? How did that happen?
We know you and love you as a man. But on Sundays in the fall, man, you're the nameless gray faces that we...
All right, ladies and gentlemen, head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, never had a losing season, absolute legend, two-time Super Bowl champion, Mike Tomlin.
Yeah!
Thank you, Coach. It's just like EA Sports is in the game. We're the only media outlet that does not have a deal with them. Like, we don't get free codes. Nope. I'm not even in the fucking game. Mm-hmm. They've asked me to do it. I've said no. I don't want to be a part of it. That is legit because I've never played, to be honest. I'm not good at it. But we're the only ones. Yeah, you guys have played. There's a lot of guys in here that have played. A lot of fans have called in and played. We're the only ones that aren't really on an EA Madden payroll at this point. So it's okay for us to come out and say, like, hey, y'all need to stop fucking over your fans. Like, you need to help them. I feel like that's a good thing of this show.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat.
Welcome back to that show. Settle into the football season like New York teams settle into 0-3 records.
Oh,
no. That was
Is that the Reed, really?
Oh, that's Bruce. This is Bruce, remember? Bruce had, he's a Giants fan, and he wants to make sure everybody knows that it's not just the Giants that stink, all right? There's also the Jets that stink. Settle into built-in underwear in your joggers. Bird Dogs picked a winner with their joggers here, and we cannot lie. It's available in khaki, navy, and black. These things are moving quick, so get on it now. That's right. The most comfortable shorts ever made are now available in joggers fashion. Go to birddogs.com, enter promo code PATSBALL, and they'll throw in a free Bird Dogs whistle tip football with your order. Oh. It's great. This thing's great, dude. See this thing, AJ?
No, I can't see it.
Got a little closer?
Oh, you hit the camera.
Yeah, was that a little closer? I did hit the camera. And that's because
I heard a whistle. I heard that whistle, though.
It did whistle, and it has pinpoint.
And the camera's bouncing now. Your camera.
Accuracy. Okay? You need to get one of these whistle tip footballs from Bird Dogs. So to do that, you need to go to birddogs.com, promo code PATSBALL, buy something that's awesome, whether it's their built-in underwear shorts that are so damn comfortable, their pants, or now their joggers that are going to move fast. Available in all colors, available for all situations. The shorts are, you can sleep in them, work out in them, go to meetings in them, golf in them. You can literally do anything. Now the joggers make you look incredibly professional. If I was you, I would order a size up, though. I would order a size up on the joggers at birddogs.com, promo code PATSBALL, and boom! Free whistle tip football from your friends at Bird Dog. You will not take these things off, we promise you.
Also, Pat, did you know that today is a holiday?
No, what?
Oh, yeah, not just any holiday. Today is National Energy Drink Day.
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah! So you know what that means. Celsius So you know what that means. Celsius had to put together a promo for all of us. And it's the best promo they've ever put together. 9 of their best flavors are all 20% off at the link in the bio.
How many flavors they have?
9? They got a lot of them. But 9 of the best ones, including Peach Vibe, Watermelon, Grape Rush, and Wild Berry, are all 20% off.
Wow.
This stuff is delicious, and the office has been running on it for months. Just remember to drink some water.
Shout out to Celsius. You need to drink water.
Mix in water.
Go to the link in the description and use promo code 20ENERGY every day for 20% off your order.
What's that one more again?
20 Energy every day. No, 20 Energy Day. Excuse me.
Jesus.
What
was it?
20 Energy Day. All one word.
20. ENERGY.
DAY. 20 Energy Day.
At the link
in the description for 20% off.
All right. It's National Energy Drink Day, dude. Let's
go.
You celebrating or not?
I just became aware of this. Do you think Celsius is happy that you're chugging their drink and passing out on live TV?
Wow, there's too many of them. Too many of them.
Yeah,
Listen, you got to be smart.
They
Mix
said in
water
the read, drink water.
and have some food. You can't be having 600 milligrams of caffeine without eating or drinking water. Okay, I think everybody understands that, except for me until now, and I have learned my lesson because now I can keep the incredibly delightful and tasty energy drink of your dreams, Celsius Heat, in my life because I can take care of it a little bit better. You just got to manage your intake.
That's right.
Well said.
Responsible.
They're delicious.
Let's get some phone calls here as we wrap up hour 3 on the worst show in history. Let's go to Austin in Youngstown. A lot of Italians over there on the 5-Hour Energy phone line. What's going on, Austin? How you doing, pal?
Oh, my Pat. 2 hours and 5 minutes, and we're still out here waiting to shout out the boys, Pat, AJ, Rachel, everybody. Now, listen, I don't got time. I'm sorry. I got to go.
Rachel, I think.
I want to hear you talk. You're talking about Peyton Manning.
You could tell.
Looking through. What was that?
Shinigami.
Shinigami throwback.
Oh, shout
No.
No, okay, that was a good one, yeah.
I thought you were clearing the lines.
That guy, I mean, he had a good idea.
You hung up?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why. It was a great call. It was a great call. I don't like hearing that they were waiting on hold, though. It's like, yo, I've been here as well, dude. I'm so sorry. You know what I mean? Austin had good energy, Joe. Brought it. Was he shouting out Shinigami? How is Shinigami doing?
Still battling.
Well, he had a lot of juice going into that one fight, and it was the most boring fight of all time, and he didn't fare well.
All right, I hate anybody that's getting into the fence and fighting. All right, I got respect for.
That's right.
Especially if you bring a fucking hammer shin, dude, from the clods. Just fucking full on, pow! Shinigami, dude. What happened? He lost though, I think.
Well,
right?
the guy he was fighting was quite the grappler, so Shinigami didn't get many strikes.
Oh, it was one of them boring fights.
Yeah, he kind of just wrapped him up and kind of just banged Shinigami into the fence several times.
All right, let's go. Hey, Shinigami, keep it going, dude. Appreciate you, man. Let's go to Cody in St. Louis. What's going on, Cody?
Hey, Pat, I will fuck that guy. I will sit on hold all day long.
No. We don't want that either. Yeah, we appreciate you. You don't need to do that. But what I'm saying is, like, come on. Come on, Austin and Youngstown. You had a great call. Let's get to it. Especially, Cody, like, we are so thankful you're calling from St. Louis. We haven't had a St. Louis caller in some time. You guys are about to get a couple $2 billion from staying cronky over there, it sounds like. Oh, no.
Am I still here?
Oh, yeah. Jeez. Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, yeah. See? Everybody wonders. Yeah.
So good. So good.
Everybody wonders why, you know, sometimes phone calls turn a little south.
You got to yank them off sometimes.
I mean, what were we supposed to do there? What was I supposed to do there? There's people
should have stuck it out, man. Should have stuck it out. I think he had a big like final finale that was going to be great.
I bet if it was ever going to come, though, it's probably technical difficulties on our end. We apologize. Can't wait to hear from you again, Cody, and you, Austin. But like, I can't wait to talk. I get so excited to go to the phones, honestly. And some people say like, oh, you got to make it. And now, granted, sometimes I'll throw the ball, but I'm listening. Hey, I'm an active listener. All right, that's what I'm doing. I enjoy these conversations, but sometimes, for whatever reason, we just can't find a flow. And I think that happens more often than not. I'm about fucking sick of it, AJ.
Hey, I get it, man. Sometimes, I mean, you probably know within the first 2 seconds how it's going to go, don't you?
No, I don't like to judge somebody by their first. Am I on? I don't like to judge. I don't like to judge people by that. I like to think. They'll figure it out. They'll get it going, How you doing? Good, man. How you doing? Good. Hey, Jay. Boys.
How you doing?
Shout out.
How you doing?
I wish I could talk to these people in person off air. That would be awesome. But there is, like, some people watching that are saying, hey, dance monkey. And they're talking to me, not to you. You're kind of hanging me out to dry whenever you don't hit that phone. Run it.
Yep.
I want to build our relationship. I want to build our phone calls. I want to be the best in the game. And sometimes they do stink. It's probably my fault. We'll give it a go again tomorrow on the 5 Hour Energy phone line. It's the last day of the deal, I think. AJ, anything to say to the Mad Dog Russo listeners as we wrap up here on Sirius XM Hour 3?
Nothing for Mad Dog, but I did like Nick's sound of disgust when you said you would like to speak to these people in person.
Yeah, Nick hates them all, but we don't. Mad Dog Russo's next. Nick does hate him. Nick wants me to run people off the lines all the time.
Only the ones that deserve it.
Nick will be in that back room. Nick will be behind the glass like this. As soon as they say hello, and I'm like, all right, let's hope this guy survives. But I enjoy, I enjoy good phone call. Like, I really do. I was somebody that called into shows like in high school and tried to get on the air and tried to do something. Like, I enjoy a good phone call. But sometimes some people have no self-awareness, I think. And maybe it's me, probably them, though,
Probably. Hey, speaking of Nick, I saw something where Cosby is coming out defending R. Kelly. Why is that happening?
What does that have to do with me?
What are you even? Why is that happening?
Nick,
is that a real question?
Hold on.
TMZ reported, yes.
Listen, Nick doesn't want me to out him, but Nick sent me a text a little bit ago explaining what was going on.
Nick, why don't we work on the job? What the hell? All right, why don't we work on the job at hand? Why are we texting about toxic things with a guy who's in Toxic, Ohio?
Pat, why you believe in this?
I don't believe this guy, but I just want to let you know, if there was any sense of that being true, I didn't want the narrative out there that Nick isn't on these fucking handles all day. We had construction around our office. There's no way he texted you.
His word is as incredible as Cosby's.
All right.
Oh, it is? Okay. Well, unfortunately, I have proof, but yeah,
What? That Nick texted you in the middle of the show saying, "Hey, why don't you bring up Bill fucking Cosby and R. Kelly?"
Hey, I would. No, he just sent me a TMZ article. I would hold my phone up and show you, but the previous picture that Nick sent me is I probably shouldn't show either, so I can't hold my phone up for you.
This place is disgusting.
Big wet butt.
This is so disgusting. CFO Phil, we have a chief in here.
you're
an
right.
executive of this company in the office. And he went to the bathroom earlier today, came back to his computer, probably had to go through some spreadsheets and like actual douche shit.
Oh, yeah.
Big wet butts all over his fucking computer.
No way.
That's
Different
fucked
kind of
up
spreadsheets,
because he
alright.
doesn't have a Mac either, and you
can actually get a
he can get a virus.
He can get an actual
Yeah,
virus.
he's
in
got
it.
pop-ups for the rest of the day now.
It's unbelievable.
Who put that on his computer?
We know.
It's probably you, dude. Somehow it's
No,
probably you
that's
talking.
not my thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Sure, dude.
Yeah. Anyways, nobody cares about what Cosby's saying about R. Kelly. Okay, and this is a fucking sports show, so I don't know why you feel the need to bring that up. All right.
R. Kelly's music used to be played at a lot of sporting events.
It did used to be
Huge on the Space Jam album.
Man, I just don't know how it can go so wrong. Like, why would you be? Has he always been that way? I guess
Bad
that's the
dude.
thing.
What do you mean?
So like he's always did he grow into like this position of power and become a complete scumbag, or was he
I'm
always
sure.
a scumbag? You know, like
Sure, it was there, and then it became much more accessible. And he's like, "Wow, I could actually do this."
The
Like, I can
documentary
have
kind
my
of
own
covers
thing.
his like mental of it, and it was like I don't think he ever got like ladies in high school, and then he always wanted high school girls. Very fucked up.
fucking weird, man. People are weird.
Yeah.
Dude. Weird. Why? Well, I guess. I mean, there's different levels of it. We got a guy wearing a Chuck Berry T-shirt on this fucking show right now.
What does that have to do with it?
You don't know a single song of his. That is what it has to
Oh,
do.
my bad. Johnny Be Good.
Yeah.
Ever heard of it?
Oh, yeah.
Name another one.
All right, go
Everyone
on.
knows that.
Go on. This is like me and the Counting Crows, pal.
Yeah.
I Love Rock. Did he have that one? One of those?
I love rock.
This guy.
Nailed it. I'm happy to hear that you bought that shirt because of his musical ability. It's very nice of you. Let's go to the phones. Nobody's on. Thank God. Phew. All right. What
Who would
else?
want to call now? I'd be nervous to call now.
No, just call and talk. Just call and talk. It's very easy, I think. Honestly, I think it's very easy. Just call and talk.
You kind of
Get
just
in, get out.
You read it, but it's like the Manning thing. You got to come in and you got to
go.
go.
Gotta go.
Yeah.
Gotta go. You know? What?
Yeah. Bro,
What?
watching Peyton
gotta
and
go-
Brett Favre.
When?
made me- I was dying.
I'm
my
fixing
God.
my internet.
That was
So
I don't even want
what?
to joke. I
They-
hate doing this as a joke.
they were-
I don't even want to do it.
So the thing, I was about to say, go ahead.
Even this.
No,
game
I was going to say the same
What?
thing. I was going to say, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were going to go there again. I thought there must be something. But yeah, it's set up for that though. Dude, it literally is. They're going to have to, now granted, they got 3 weeks to kind of figure it all out. I would say that it's going to always happen, but they should tell people like, hey, when you come in, go. You know, like go or get out. Go, get out. They should almost have like a signal because the speaking over each other, it happens on this show. We do this for well, not you. I mean, you're some of the time, but we
Right.
do this like literally all day, every day, you know, and we still fuck it up. So it's like that tech thing could be a potential issue, you know, going forward, AJ.
It is. If you don't know, like, oh, is Eli going to talk next? Is Peyton? Oh, and then if you chime in like one little comment, then it throws everybody off. Like, it's just, yeah, it's a tough little situation, I guess, depending on your internet too.
So depending upon the internet is huge because a delay that is already happening could be expedited and made even worse if your internet is worse, which is, I can't believe we got in there. Zito had me plug into an internet thing. I had a cord there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Ethernet.
You're hardwired in.
Yeah, I was hardwired
Perfect.
in. But when I got hardwired in, the internet was slower.
Yeah, it was very odd.
Than the Wi-Fi.
But again, like your router was
Router
a foot
issue.
away, so it'd probably make more sense to be.
So we had both. We had a backup to the backup because we know that my house is a wasteland, absolute wasteland for internet service. That's why as soon as I was driving to your house for your cult event or whatever, I was like, oh, there's no way his internet's ever going to be good because it's set up exactly like mine. But instead of just admitting it like I have, he has still bought into like, no, it's going to be good. It's going to be great. Like your internet has been fantastic, by the way, the last couple of days. You think it's because you're just doing like every other show, you think? Is that why?
No, I don't know. When my internet has gone bad, it's gone bad in the whole neighborhood. It's like everywhere is down lately. But I have a lot of
You
issues.
are the
with-
neighborhood, dude.
Neighborhood. There's 3 houses there in that.
I mean, like the whole grid goes down though when mine goes down. Like if I look, like it's happened a few times. I go to start the show, and there's no internet in the whole house. I'm like, oh, cool. And then I find out there's an outage. Hey, it should be back by 5 p.m. Cool, thank you.
Great. Thank you for that. That's literally what they say too. Like we're currently trying to set up the Coliseum with good internet, you know?
Yeah.
And there's 2 different options. There's one where we could pay an extra something to get this whole thing done, or this other one that's much cheaper and it's double the speed, and they'll get the money back in 3 years, I think, in 4 months instead of the whole thing. I mean, it's all bullshit. The internet is all bullshit. They just need the people just to turn it up, I think.
Yep.
The people just need to turn it up. That's all you need to do. Hey, just give me a little bit of a boost.
Come on.
Just give me a little bit of turn that thing sideways. You know what I mean? Turn that thing up a little bit. Let that fiber run into the house. You know what I mean, AJ?
Wait, weren't they throttling the internet speeds like when COVID was in its prime?
Yeah.
yeah.
Listen, I don't know if we're allowed to even talk about it publicly, but that has been something that a lot of people feared for a long time, that was going to happen. Then it seemed to be happening. And I do believe, like, for us to get a different internet here via our fiber, they literally just have to
boost
right?
switch.
They just have to boost it. So it's like, is that every Wi-Fi then? And how come you're not offering me to pay? Like, I will. Just give me a little fucking how you doing, keep it moving or whatever. But they control everything. There's only a couple companies, too, that control all the wirings, basically.
Yep. Yeah.
So it's like they control it. They know it. They know it, AJ.
Monopoly.
They know it.
Oh yeah, they know. They know they got a lock on us. We can't go anywhere. It's like when you start with Apple products at a young age, like you're in.
Yeah, but thank God they're the best.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
it
that
is.
Spice Adams camera. I mean, Jesus. Earlier today, he looked unbelievable.
He was
on
on,
that new
yeah,
thing.
he was on Portrait. He was
Yeah.
on Portrait. That was unbelievable. That's a FaceTime update with the new phone.
Yeah, it offers the blur at the end.
Crazy.
He looked good.
It's like a Greek god.
Yeah.
He did.
He is a Greek
He's lost 115 pounds. That's a lot of weight.
Weapon.
Jeez.
Can we call him back?
What's he doing, you think?
I don't know.
Picking up his
Traveling
kids.
around.
We should call him and just see what he's doing. Yeah. Let's see what he's doing. And what is Spice Adams doing right now? He's probably dressing up. He's probably either getting into old head, talking to Chuck, maybe a little Cream Biggums, getting into this
Getting
thing.
into character.
Uh-huh.
Maybe he's in the middle of recording a video.
Checking out Arlington Park.
He put a movie out. He literally put a 4-minute movie out on his Instagram the other night. It was scored. The music, the tension. I mean, it was like 40 different shots. I mean, it was a real thing. And it was just how old heads go smoke a cigarette at a gathering.
That's awesome.
It was a silent film. I don't believe he said much until the end. And it was, what's up, Chuck? That was it. It was unbelievable. The guy. Unbelievable.
I might go check it out.
You should. It's on his Instagram. It had a lot of views. I was because the long video like that, I don't think it's normally. His IG, though, crushes that.
Wasn't he hosting a cooking show with Steph Curry's wife?
Yeah, the Great Britain Bake Off. Spice. We
There
wanted
it
to
is.
call and just see what you were doing right now. What are you doing? And also that portrait mode on the FaceTime looks so good. We were literally wrapping up the show here, and we're like, what the fuck is Spice doing right now? I wonder.
I'll tell you what I'm doing right now. I'm doing some damage control because the Bears are calling me like, hey, what's up with this? What's up with this stuff you were saying?
Oh, it's been 3 years.
I'm over here trying to keep my job, Pat. I got 4 kids. Okay, Pat?
Yeah.
I don't have time to be messing with you.
Okay, I apologize. How's Penn State? You guys going to win it all or what? yeah, I didn't know if you want to bury some other team. I didn't know. Ladies and gentlemen, Spice Adams. Oh, what a legend. See, Spice. Oh, my God. That's awesome. Sometimes things like that do happen on this show, though. I feel like, But the truth shall set you free,
That's right.
I mean, he's not saying anything that no one else is saying in Chicago.
What did he say
Everyone's
about the
saying
Bears?
it.
It's not like he's Orlovsky.
Well, Orlovsky, he said that, it's been like 3 years everybody's been asking for this. He didn't say they were right or anything. He said it's just been 3 years that people have been talking about
He's been wondering what's going on in there.
these jobs. Yeah, these jobs, what's going on, you know what I mean? So, I kind of put him in a bad spot, I guess. He did try to deflect. He went immediately to the sunroof upon me asking him about that.
He did.
He went immediately to the sunroof, and then let's talk about it a little bit. Let's talk about it. So that's my fault. We have to send Spice an apology kit, I believe.
Yep, on it.
Golly.
Get that kit together.
We do. Hey, listen, you have no idea what's cooking behind the scenes over here, pal.
You're right.
We got kits cooking, dude.
Uh-huh.
Full kits.
Who gets them? People that get upset?
No.
Good people.
Not people that get upset. No. You accomplish something. For instance, him speaking the truth. You know what I mean? His truth. He's probably been wanting to say a long time.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Happy for you, Spice.
Yeah.
He is going to be in a movie, though, really soon, I assume.
Yeah.
He and Kevin Hart are tight. Kevin Hart writes his own movies now at this point, right?
Hard Productions.
Yeah. Hart.
Isn't he Boys with the Rock?
Heartbeat,
Couldn't he get
yeah.
on Miniature Rock, the series?
Oh, you know the name of it, dude.
There's no reason for Spice to be on Young Rock, okay?
He should have his own.
Yeah, he should have his own Young Spice. Oh, I didn't ask about Mama Spice. She's fucking electrifying as well. Anyways, all right, let's get out of here, dude. We got to announce this. Big deal. This is a big deal.
Here we go.
Big deal.
No, I wanted to vote. They didn't vote, I don't think.
Oh, yeah.
They voted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they voted.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude,
Stay tuned.
Before
Stay
that.
tuned. There will be a
Good tease.
there
Great
will-
tease.
It's gonna be sweet.
Look out for Bruce Brown's Twitter account. There is a vote to be had on who won the Fluid Master 9500 softball bidet.
Oh, yeah.
Who had the best untouched touchdown of the weekend. Old Bruce Brown is going to put out a poll, and whoever wins the free bidet, whether it's, people are saying maybe Deshaun Jackson. People are saying maybe Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
People are saying maybe
Alvin Kamara.
I guess there's been a couple, so that'll have to go to the poll. And then once the poll is voted on, then people will tweet the name of said person with hashtag PMS Untouched. And when you do that, you automatically enter in to winning your own 9500 softball bidet from Fluid Master. Take your butthole to a whole new level of society. Change the complete game and a $200 gift card so they can put it in to your bathroom. Live a life of high society with our friends at Fluid Master. If you can guess, and maybe even put out just a hashtag with the name of who we decide wins that thing, and you could potentially win one as well alongside the player with the best untouched touchdown every single week.
Do you think you could work out a deal where you also send whoever the player is that gets voted in, you send that person a bidet as well? And then they're in the locker room with a picture like, hey, look at me.
Yeah, so Aaron Jones won one last week, actually, for his touchdown, and he tweeted, if it's for free, it's for me or whatever. Good news for him, it's not for free. He earned it with his blood, his sweat, his tears, and his 4 touchdowns.
Oh, yeah.
And Aaron Jones is beloved by everybody. So, yeah, he's getting one. I don't know if there has been some issues between Fluid Master and the Packers getting a hold of him to potentially get to him. That's not on us. That's on them. They're handling that thing. But we also gave away a Fluid Master 9500 softball bidet to somebody that tweeted hashtag PMS Untouched Aaron Jones. And we will do the same this week whenever we find out who won the best untouched touchdown from our friends at Fluid Master. And right now, if you didn't win, or you're just looking to get into the bidet game and say, hey, I don't have time to tweet hashtag PMS Untouched with whoever ends up winning it this week, and maybe you think the numbers will be too large for you not to win, you can just go to shop.fluidmaster.com, use promo code PAT4930, that's PAT4930, and get $49.30 off your softball bidet.
Wow.
Boom. Bingo. It's awesome. But you could wait until tomorrow when we announce who won the best untouched touchdown, and then just tweet hashtag PMS Untouched with that person's name, and you automatically entered into potentially winning one of those softball bidets.
Boom.
It's a good deal. Would you say take your butthole to a new level of society?
Bingo. High society assholes. That's what we're doing around here.
Yep.
That's what a bidet is.
That's their tagline?
Nope.
Should be.
I don't know what their tagline is. They watched the show, though, so they knew that this was potentially going to happen when we're talking about bidets, and we do appreciate them, but it is really what it is. You're giving a shower to your undercarriage,
Yeah.
And people mocked it, I think, for a little bit, but once you experience it, I never experienced one until a suite in Vegas that I went to, and I sat down, and I was like, okay, I'm going to be here for a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm going to see what's going on. But I think it was mocked my entire childhood. I never really went into a house where there was one. The people who had them was mocked. What are you doing that? Then I sat one. I'm like, oh, okay, this is high society.
Game changer.
This is why these assholes have such good buttholes, because they've been living in high society bidet life.
Well, and once again, it gets pretty tiring when you need to take a full body shower after every time you take a shit. Yeah. So just having a soft spot bidet is the way to go.
Well, and it's nice to know, me too, AJ, and it's nice to know that for a long time since the creation of bidets, people have had to take showers after every dump, and they're like, I'm sick of having to dry off my hair every single time. Can we just get somebody?
Right, my skin's drying out. I've fucking taken 8 showers today.
Yeah, we had quite a hog roast last night.
Yeah,
And I've been blowing my butt out so much, and they're like, well, we can get a shower for your butt, just.
It took a while to Taco Bell Cantina last night.
Yeah,
big wet butts.
Exactly. No. Clean butts. And then they will dry it off, too. There's some hot air in there.
Big clean butts.
I don't know the sizes of people that all have bidets, but there is a chance that there is a big old badonk-a-donk.
This will save on the bleaching costs per month for me.
All right. Well, shout out to Fluid Master. You're right.
You might need to bleach it more now. The water will mess with it.
Nope. All right.
Probably for the bleach in the system.
Nope.
Couldn't do it, our show. Just couldn't. I mean, we were dancing, fine line. Bleached assholes, I think. Probably the end of it.
I mean, that's a thing, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, I believe it is. Let's go to the...
Crazy.
We have some breaking news. Richard Sherman has addressed the entire situation. Bucks cornerback Richard Sherman said that him and Tom Brady are the same in some regards, in the sense that they're obsessed about the game. via Pewter Report. And he also, I guess Tom Brady did a lot of recruiting to get Richard Sherman down to Tampa Bay. Richard Sherman could have come to a lot of teams. Maybe the Colts need a little help in the secondary, could have gone a lot of places. He, just like a lot of other experienced vets who have had a lot of success in their career, has decided to join forces with every other vet that has had experience and great in their team down in Tampa Bay. And I think it's mostly because Tom Brady's texting everybody saying, hey, need you on the team, pal. And when Tom Brady calls and he can play football, you go ahead and do that. Richard Sherman, an absolute stud on a football field when he's at his best. Let's hope he is this weekend against the New England Patriots because, hello.
Looks like he's wearing number 5, too.
It's Tom. I was wondering if after all these years you'd like for me to come throw bombs against your team. Bill said some terrible things that were really mean, so now I have to beat the dog shit. Can't wait to talk more about that game the next couple of days. I'm sure Chris Mad Dog Russo's show is much better than ours the last 13 minutes, if I had to guess.
You think?
Certain.
Does he have a co-host?
No.
No, there's no way, yeah.
It's him on a couch. And
Really?
he goes bananas. I've seen a couple of his rants. I didn't grow up on Mike and the Mad Dog and everything like that. I did not know. The documentary happened where I learned about him. And some of his rants that hit the internet, what an electric factory that guy is. If I have that much juice still at that age, I will be so incredibly impressed. He gets really worked up. He gets really mad about stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He hates some stuff, and I respect it, and I appreciate it so much. This guy is awesome, man. I fucking love him. What a legend. He does not love us, I don't think. I think he hates our show.
Got it.
I veg.
I veg. A good show, a lot of enthusiasm. They say, no, not even good show. A lot of enthusiasm. They say that's the future.
Big personality.
Big personalities, obviously. Really lucky to have him on here. How about this other show?
Morning guys are great.
Great host.
Unbelievable.
Great show host. Real professional.
Best in the game.
Swearing is fine.
Swearing's fine, but I don't do it.
Barking,
I don't do it.
Barking's got to go.
All right. See you guys tomorrow. Cheers.